Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to another edition of True Picks, where we talk about everything that happens in the world of the NFL. There's a lot to get to this week. We're also going to be breaking down our power rankings and talking about how we see the rest of the season shaping up. And of course, when I say we, I'm talking about myself. I'm talking about Chase Oliver. Sir, how are you doing this fine Friday afternoon?
Doing good, man. Enjoying that it's a Friday. Got a busy weekend ahead of me, so pretty much enjoying. Glad that it's like the holiday times now, so maybe I'll wear some Christmas theme next time for the show.
Yeah, we're getting into that into the old Christmas spirit. You should know. I actually got to send you a picture. We have our Christmas tree up, and we got all the decorations up. Colleen, I was at a church thing, a church men's club church thing last night. But while I was doing that, Colleen was decorating the tree, and then underneath, right at the bottom, we have the Stitch house.
Oh, nice.
I'll send you a photo of that. I was telling Colleen, like that she correctly predicted it in your response that she was on the money, and sure enough, she was on the money, and she loves it too.
Nice.
So thank you
That's
again.
good.
Appreciate it a lot. I gotta say, you spanked me this week in the in the old predictions, because after last week, both of us having a great week, I had a little bit of a come back to earth. Went 50, went even Steven, and you had some good picks there to get you over the hump.
If only I believed in my Panthers. If I only had said, you know what, Carolina will upset the because I did say that there's a chance it's in Carolina, the weather.
I remember.
It showed in that game. The weather kind of affected the Rams a little bit. That's why the Rams have to remain on the top seed of the NFC. They can't be going to Soldier Field or going to Philadelphia because this team, when you play in a West Coast environment and you play in the like a stadium like SoFi where it's like a hybrid stadium, like you sometimes get some outside weather, but it's not really that much compared to like when you're outdoors in Philadelphia or in Chicago and stuff. So felt good about a lot of my picks and stuff. Falcons once again letting us down. Don't know why we believe in these people. Like this team.
I don't understand. Like, I get it from the perspective of the Jets, like the idea of like the culture building, like from Anthony from Glenn, right? Like, I get it from that perspective, like the idea of Aaron Glenn, like the culture building aspect. But like, are you guys just like, hey, we got so many first round draft picks, it doesn't matter where ours is?
Yeah, right. Yeah,
to win.
I feel like they. Who knows what the Jets are trying to plan at this point.
And Buccaneers, good to have Chris Godwin back. I know they recently just opened the window for Mike Evans's return. So as soon as he does return, remember, take the over in any targets or yards, because he needs like 172 yards a game to get to 1,000 yards. But so I was having this conversation on one of the football subreddits, because somebody was saying, it's a little ridiculous. Like, he would need 107. And I was like, yeah, but it's possible. And they're like,
yeah,
what would possibly make you say it's possible? I said, okay, because they're saying the Buccaneers need to be in playoff contention and so on and so forth. I said, look back last year for when he came back in week 12. When he came back, they were 4-6 coming off of the bye week. And look at the target share and yardage that he got. They still needed to fight for a playoff spot then too. And the argument is easy. If you're fighting for a playoff spot, wouldn't you want to get the ball in the hands of Mike Evans? So like that.
Yep.
But the Bucs are coming back they're getting back to full strength. They also opened the window for Jalen McMillan. So we shall see whether or not Emeka Egbuka can, one, stay on the field. I'm sure he will compared to Jalen McMillan. But two, whether or not Godwin, Evans, how that helps Egbuka, how he helps them, that's going to be something interesting to see. So let's talk about all of that kind of stuff as we get to week 14. Now, you and I, we weren't able to link up before Thursday Night Football, but I have a feeling you would have picked the Cowboys.
Yes, I would have picked my Cowboys. They have to win out. They have to win. I need them to win the NFC East to be proven right. My ego will not let me choose the Lions at all, especially with how Detroit looked against the Packers. Like, they didn't look bad, but like The
Yeah.
Cowboys coming off 2 big wins. How do I not choose my Cowboys? How do I not
No, I
ride
mean,
the weight of momentum?
there was also the idea that one, we weren't sure if Amon Ra would be playing, which he did end up playing, but also Kirby Joseph out, Terrion Arnold out for the season. In the game, Brian Branch gets hurt, and now he's out for the season. So a decimated Detroit Lions team, but where there's a Gibbs, there's a way. Is
Yeah.
kind of the solution. 3 touchdowns on the ground for Jahmyr Gibbs, over 100 total rushing yards for the Lions, and another rushing touchdown from Monty. I thought that the Cowboys' run defense was supposed to be so much better with Quinnen Williams, but joining the team. But maybe it'll take a little bit longer. But a good win from the Lions. But let's turn towards the rest of this Week 14 slate. We'll start with a little AFC East action as Davion joins us, saying good afternoon. Davion, I just want to send you a quick shout out, sir, because it seems as though it doesn't really matter what time we Chase and I have to link up because of our schedules. You seem to always be here, and I appreciate that, sir. I salute you. But let's talk, and we'll be getting to your Seahawks in a few moments. But AFC East, Jets and Dolphins. Dolphins are technically still in playoff contention, I guess, for a wild card spot. I guess they haven't. I don't think they've been officially eliminated. The Jets officially have, though. And this is actually, no, wait. The Jets, I think, aren't eliminated either, technically speaking.
There's a 0.3% chance they can make the playoffs.
They have not been eliminated. Can you and I eliminate them this week with the Dolphins win? I think we can.
Yeah, the Dolphins, they shook off a very scrappy Saints team. They could have lost that game easily.
I see what you did there.
They did. They did. It was. I really thought I thought the Saints were going to come back. I was like, well, this is it for Mike McDaniels. He looks dejected on the sideline as this is happening, and they scrapped out. And what was one of the more sad teams to watch in the early season has become one of the more scary, sleepier teams. And the Dolphins, they don't need a lot of help like the Bengals, but there is this chance they can sneak into the playoffs. Dolphins fans, all hope is not lost at this point. But yeah, I don't see the Jets winning this game. It seems like the Jets, this is like their MO. They suck, and then they get one nice little moral victory, and then it's just like they suck again. So I think the Dolphins, this is going to be a thrashing by the Dolphins.
I do think it's interesting that the Dolphins' game plan, their strategy now is just, if we don't ask Tua to do like anything and we just get the ball in Devin Achane's hands,
yeah,
we actually have a chance of winning. And it sucks if you're a manager of, say Jalen Waddle in fantasy, but like they got to do what they got to do to win games if they're trying to save people's jobs. I also, like I was saying, I think they're going to be sticking a fork in the Jets for the rest of the season.
Yeah, because like the thing is, if you're a Shanahan disciple, just give it to your running back. Like, why do we always try to spin the wheel with the passing game? Like, your running back is your engine in the Shanahan offense. Like, it's not your receiver, it's not your tight end, it's your running back. Yeah.
Not to get too off topic, but I don't know if you saw this week's Close on Sundays with TA and Pat. They had
or the one that they just released.
The one they just released like a couple days ago.
Oh no, I didn't see that one.
So they have an in-depth interview with Steve Smith Sr.
Okay.
And it's really good. Just him talking about how he looks at tape and breaks down film when he's doing his wide receiver things, like for the draft, but also just little history, stories and things like that. And he actually explains the start of the Shanahan style offense and starts breaking down like all the coaching trees and like how it all spanned out from the 84 from 1984. And it's a really cool, like, it's just short, like maybe 2 minutes of the whole thing, 2-3 minutes, but like just that historical aspect of it is really cool to see. And just to see how much of modern day NFL offenses are based off of that Shanahan style that originated in San Fran. It's really interesting to see. But Davion saying, he's glad to, where's my mouse? There it is. Glad to support any way he can. Give the Dolphins. They're just trying to find a way to lose. Yeah, like I still don't fully get why you'd want to not ruin, but like hurt your draft pick, especially when you have such a high one. You can really help that offensive line for whatever quarterback you're going to get, either this year, potentially in 27, if you think that Nussmeier, or actually no, I don't think Nussmeier can stay another year, but like if you think Arch will stay a year and take the next step, if he gets that development, like that's but
yeah.
They also got to win in the interim to keep their jobs and whatnot, and keep the morale of the team. So I do understand it from, I guess, an overall team building perspective, but it seems short-term wise, long-term foolish. But let's turn to Davion's Seahawks. And, I'm not saying that the Vikings are a terrible team or anything like that, but it felt as though the Seahawks just were able to play a junior varsity, like not even a D1 school. Like it felt like a D2 school. And I feel so bad for a wide receiver like Justin Jefferson. You can see that he is not happy about what's going on and having terrible quarterback play from Max Brosmer. Sir, you're more than welcome to ask for a trade and come to Denver. We'd be happy to have you. Great quarterback there. But for the Seahawks, you have to be absolutely thrilled because you had the ability to overcome some of Sam Darnold's yips. And with a great defense to play against, and you proved that you can win a game against a defense that, if the offense was playing the way it should be, even like 50% better, could be a playoff team. So that's proving to you even more that you can handle playoff team level defense. Now you're turning to a Falcons team that has been improving on defense, but definitely has a ways to go. They also, on offense, don't really know what they want to do. Don't really know who they want to be. They're giving Algier kind of goal line work, but Bijan between the 20s. That's sort of weird to me. But they also aren't really using Kyle Pitts that much, but they are, and it's sort of a situation that you're going to have these up and downs with the situation with Kirk Cousins versus Michael Penix Jr. But Kirk has that kind of calming presence until he doesn't, kind of thing, like until the game can get like outside of that manager standpoint. But I don't know. I don't really see a way that the Seahawks lose this, but I can see the Falcons at least keeping it close. How do you feel about this?
It's the Falcons. Every other week they look good. They look like an awesome team and stuff. So I could easily see the Falcons. I could easily see the Falcons winning this game, but I'm going to stick with the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks are a better team and stuff. So, but I could see the Falcons winning. I could definitely see it. I could definitely see where the Falcons, all of a sudden, they just wake up, and then I turn on the red zone, and I'm like, oh wow, geez, this is crazy. The Falcons are kicking the Seahawks' ass.
Yeah. Davion saying
Oh, dude, Max Bro, he's one of the worst human beings I've ever seen start at quarterback. Like that guy sucked. We talk about JJ McCarthy sucking. This fool sucked. Like there's a reason why. KOC made Carson Wentz bad. All these let's skip Buccaneers Saints. Let's talk about Vikings Commanders now because I'm on this. Dude, all these Vikings fans with these conspiracy theories that, oh, JJ sucks, so this is why Carson Wentz was playing through injury. Oh, KOC doesn't want to give Bosmer a chance. He's afraid to admit that JJ's the bust because Bosmer's good. No, there's a reason why KOC was telling Carson Wentz, who couldn't even remember his name and couldn't even lift his arm while trying to eat soup at night, was because he knew Max Bosmer sucked. He's like, Wentz, I need you. I need you so bad. I'd rather have you that can't like say the ABCs out there than freaking this guy. This guy can't even write down he was terrible. Like fucking terrible. Did everything that you don't want to do. Like he's like that one kid that got the controller in Madden and just doing stupid plays just for the sake of it, acting like he can do everything. Like he's like, oh, I can break this. That
horrible. That got returned was I mean, I feel bad because I'm like, you're just trying to get the ball. Like, you're trying not to take the set. Like, I get what you were going for. And he just, just really quickly, where was it? Romeo saying both picking the Dolphins in cold weather. I don't know about that one. Like, that's a fair argument, like with that situation. But the Dolphins offense at this point is just get the ball to Devin Achane.
Yeah,
like,
they just hand the ball off.
Whether it's a short pass or anything like that, they are not trying to throw farther. Like the A dot on Tua, if they're keeping it under 7 yards, under 5 yards, they're happy. Like they're just like throw the ball, get a little yak. If we got to kick a field goal, we kick a field goal. And the Jets offense has not looked that like, yeah, you're beating up on the Falcons, but can you beat up on the Dolphins? That remains to be seen because of that rivalry aspect, or at least the division aspect. That's another game that can be close. But this Vikings Commanders, my question here is, he says, thank you for giving us Sam Darnold. Will we see? I don't know if we have confirmed yet the return of Jayden Daniels. And my question to you is, after the loss to Denver, which we'll get to, a heartbreaking loss, and I do feel bad for Commanders fans for that, does it even make sense to have Jayden Daniels continue the season at this point?
I mean,
because like you can't get to the playoffs, you're only risking further injury to me.
If Daniels, if there's no chance for the injury to pop back up, I would like Daniels to keep getting more reps, because I think that is important for him to keep getting more reps. Because I don't think they're going to change the coaching staff. Like, it doesn't seem like Dan Quinn's job is in integrity or in jeopardy. Or I don't think that like Kingsbury, I don't think any of these college teams are like knocking on the Cliff Kingsbury door saying, "Hey, come coach for us." Like, I think it will be good for Jayden Daniels to still get reps. It's always important. Like, you build momentum. It's like, oh yeah, this is because if Daniels comes back and the team starts playing well in these last few games with Jayden Daniels, then it's like, oh, this is what we can be. And it's also like a theme where you want to try to still like attract free agents. You still want to try to show people that, oh, we're not a losing culture. Like Washington, this is not a team that's like
last season wasn't the outlier.
Yeah, this season was an outlier because Daniels got hurt and he was missing a lot of time, and so we weren't able to be and when you look when Jayden Daniels has played, hey, we beat teams like the Chargers, we beat this team, we stayed competitive with the Eagles, so on and so forth. So that's something that you want to show to people, like, and show to people, like, not just players, but also your fans, the season ticket holders. Like, this is why you should keep investing in this team. Don't give up on us. You got to give the fans what they want to eventually, because you don't want to lose those season ticket holders. At the end of the day, the NFL is a business, and with Washington building new stadium and everything of that nature, you want to show that Daniels can still play. So yeah, I think Jayden Daniels should still play. Like, it's not like a Cardinal situation where it's like you have someone better outplaying the starter, and you're okay if Kyler Murray misses the rest of the season.
So this is where we get to the interesting thing here, because I checked the news, and as of 2 hours ago, he is cleared to return, Jayden Daniels. Meanwhile, on the flip side, 9, J.J. McCarthy has cleared concussion protocol, and he will be returning. So how do we feel about this one? Because this is a situation where the Commanders' offense should do very well, but the Vikings defense is the only real strong point that they have. And I don't know if JJ McCarthy coming back is obviously better than Max Brosmer, but does JJ McCarthy give them enough that this money line makes sense? Because I took this money line like a couple hours ago.
I feel this money line is like they're thinking Mariota's playing still.
They're thinking Mariota,
yeah. Yeah, I don't think Vegas knows, like, if Daniels is playing. Like, I think they're looking at it as, what's it called? Vikings are just the Vikings, but they think Marcus Mariota is going to be playing the game, so that's why it's respectful. And then also, too, it's Minnesota at home, so they're giving a little bit of a bump for Minnesota being the home team in this situation. But yeah, no, I got the Commanders winning this one. I think they'll win this game. If Daniels is playing, yeah, they'll win. Like, they're a good team, the Commanders. Like, they're very scrappy. They've obviously figured out who their future running back one is. Maybe they draft a running back in this draft. Would kind of make sense to me to go after a younger running back to pair up with what you currently have. But yeah, I think the Commanders win this one. I just think the Vikings, like JJ hasn't shown me anything for me to say like, oh, he can beat this Commanders team. Like especially at home, like and it's even worse because if JJ plays bad at home, Vikings fans, they don't get the same rep as Philly fans, where it's like Philly fans just boo everything and they're upset. But they can get vocal, they can get loud, they can get upset too. Like that's the franchise in Minnesota. Like I would like to say for a lot of Minnesota sports fans, that's the number one for them, minus the college probably. But that's number one is the Minnesota Vikings in terms of professional sports teams. Maybe the Minnesota Wild too, because they love hockey over there. But that's the one where it's like they will get upset. They will voice their concerns, their anger about this team more than anything else. And so, like, if JJ sucks at home, it ain't gonna look good.
Are you trying to suggest that you're the biggest Minnesota Timberwolves fan in the house?
I probably am. Like, I'm not even in the state of Minnesota, and I'm probably a bigger fan than all of them. I watched like 12 games this year.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of basketball games to watch,
That is. Let's turn to NFC South action. Move back up a spot to the Buccaneers and the Saints. And as we do that, we can pull up this question from Alan saying, it's been a few years, but do y'all think Cleveland regrets giving up on Baker Mayfield? So here's the thing. I think Baker Mayfield needed to leave Cleveland.
Yeah.
That was a situation, like that was a clear-cut situation of different scenery helps people. And to the Carolina, not so much that stopover there. Really, what he needed was Sean McVay in Los Angeles. Those 4 or 5 games where he played in lieu of Stafford. That really, I think, reminded Baker what he was and what he could be, and that allowed him when he got to Tampa to kind of hit the ground running and have the right mind state to turn into the Baker Mayfield that we now know and who hates everybody except for his wife and child. Would you agree with that, or what would you?
Yeah, no, I don't think they regret it, because at the time they really thought they were going to get like a good version of Deshaun Watson. Like right. Like a lot of people need to understand, when you look at that Watson trade now, like, yes, it's a horrible trade now, but back then, if you look at it and what players are going for now, compensation wise and everything, they got Watson pretty much for a steal. Like, they didn't give up that much to get Deshaun Watson to be what they thought was a Pro Bowl level quarterback.
The draft picks they gave up, that was
no, it's not as bad as like for a guy for Watson besides like with the controversies for Watson's caliber and stature, they didn't give up like anything too insane, in my opinion, because that could have been a lot of more first round picks for a guy like Deshaun Watson.
I don't think we've ever seen it. Well, not since years and years ago, that many firsts go in like a single trade. More than 3 firsts go in a single trade. I don't think we've seen something like that since a long time ago. But yeah, I don't know. See, to me, it's always the I guess the draft day movie concept of selling the farm. Idea, you are just hurting yourself.
Hey, you two put it free. Next year we need to do a watch along of draft day.
But like the idea also is just like if you are getting at someone of Deshaun Watson's caliber, right, on paper, you're going to be spending a lot of money to re-sign that person. And so you're going to need those draft picks, because I guess the way I looked at it was, did you already have the offensive pieces around him?
Yeah.
They were just we got Nick Chubb, we got a young David Njoku, or young-ish David Njoku at the time.
Yeah, they had Landry, they had Beckham. They thought the Browns had the roster where they felt they could win, and that's why they made the move. So I don't like at the time, like I was like kind of like it makes sense for both teams at the time, doing what they did. Like the Texans, they just want to get out of the situation, and they, obviously rebuilt really, really well from it. And then the Browns, they felt like, hey, we're just a quarterback away. There's some tension between Baker and us. Like Baker's not telling us that his shoulder hurts. He's playing through these injuries. There's beef between Baker and the staff. Instead of trying to make this situation worse, we're just going to mutually agree, let's move on from this. So I don't think they regret it, to be honest, because like at the time they were expecting to get a good version of Deshaun Watson. They weren't expecting to get what they got. Like they were hoping that Deshaun Watson would be the guy that at one point was leading the Chiefs 28-0 and shit like that. So
Right. Well, let's turn to a team that definitely does not regret bringing in Baker Mayfield, and that's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And like we alluded to earlier, they've got people coming back from injury. They've opened up the practice window for Mike Evans. Bucky Irving came back. They are starting to get back into the Buccaneers of old, the team that used to really be able to hang a lot of points on opposing defenses, and that helps your defense be a little bit more vicious. Like you can see if a team gets up by a touchdown and a field goal, like a 10-point lead or 9-point lead, the way a defense starts to lean on the opposing offense because they know they have that cushion, that's what gives the Buccaneers teams so much power and strength, and they're starting to get back to that. And they can exercise some of these injury demons against a Saints squad that, you know, you use the term scrappy when we were talking about Vikings and Commanders. The Saints squad is scrappy. Tyler Shough is he is playing himself into at least a quarterback competition next year. And if he continues to play well for the rest of the season, like you could argue he has played himself into a starter position. And the Saints now need to be like, okay, we need to just build around this guy and we might have something here. So for this, I think to me, for the Saints, it's really just, can you show us? And on top of that, they're indicating that they're trying to do this rebuild because you're taking away one of his key offensive pieces in Rashid Shaheed and getting draft picks back for him, and you're making it work with Devon Vele. And this past offseason during preseason, they played the Broncos and then traded for Devon Vele from the Broncos, giving up a 4th and a 7th, and for a 7th round pick. And Devon Vele, you know, I had high hopes for him in Denver for this year. Then the trade happened, and I'm really glad to see that he is jumping off now, that he has returned to the Saints. He had a little bit of an injury towards the beginning of the season, but that is also why they felt comfortable trading away somebody like Rashid Shaheed, because now you're building. You have to keep the rest of your receiving room as relatively cost effective as you can while you're paying Chris Olave. So now's how these are the ways you do these things. That being said, I'm picking the Bucks because the Bucks look like they are going to be getting back into that steamroller standpoint. But this is going to be a fun game, not from the perspective, if you're watching from the perspective of how does the Saints rebuild look from a week-to-week standpoint. That's what makes this game interesting to watch, at least for me. How do you feel about this one?
Yeah, no, this is going to be a good, fun game in terms of like, you know, it's just going to be like the Saints, they're scrappy and stuff. And then the Saints have a lot of good little fantasy players people are kind of invested in to see if like they can score touchdowns and whatnot. But yeah, I got the Buccaneers winning. Like, no way the Saints are winning this game.
And one thing I do want to just point out is that they traded when they traded to the Seahawks for when they traded Rashid Shaheed to the Seahawks, they traded him for a 2026 4th and 5th round pick. And when they traded Vele to the Broncos, they sent the Broncos a 2026 4th and a 2027 7th. So they basically were able to turn the 2026 4th and 7th and the 27 7th into another of the equal 4th and a 5th round pick. So they actually just took their 2027 7th and improved it to a 2026 5th round pick. So very good from the perspective of the Saints when it comes to risk reward and when it comes to return on value for a player. Let's get to Jaguars and Colts as you take the Buccaneers. Wow. Can we say that the AFC South got really interesting?
Oh, yeah.
Really fast.
Wow.
Really interesting, really fast. The Colts looked like world beaters, absolute world beaters. And there were some questionable officiating during the game that the Colts had last week. You know, the play clock definitely hit 0. Then the ball was snapped, should have been delayed game, and then sort of like a phantom PI call. Texans get to move ahead, and it's like, wait a minute, this should have been a 5-yard delayed game penalty.
Yeah.
It's now it's a I think it was basically a 10 or 11-yard penalty and a fresh set of downs. Like that's
Yeah.
so that interesting, if you're the Colts, like that's got to stick in your craw. But also it's the idea that DJ with that fractured fibula, what is he going to be able to provide to this team from a run perspective? Because part of what makes this Colts offense so great is the dual threat of Daniel Jones combined with that incredible threat of Jonathan Taylor. Now he is still making the throws, right? Like even with that fractured fibula, I'm kind of intrigued to know how that, like what pain is he going through when he plants to throw and things like that. But getting the job done. That being said, I don't know. I kind of like the Jaguars in this one.
Yeah, me too. I kind of like that because the Jaguars are riding some weird momentum right now. The Colts, they're kind of like upset. Like they're still looking good. Like the way they looked against the Texans defense was very impressive. But like they suffered 2 big losses in a row. And momentum, it's a weird thing. It's also in life too. We as human beings experience momentum. Like we'll have our highs and we'll have our lows.
Yeah.
And it's like the Jaguars are on this kind of weird high, while the Colts are on this low right now. And this is like for the as of right now for first place of the South. Jaguars currently hold first place of the South. They hold tiebreakers over the Colts. So if they win this game, the Colts go from Lucas Oil Stadium, we're going to be one of the top 3 seeds, to, hey, we might be traveling somewhere. We might be traveling to face a team we don't want to really be facing at this time of the year. Because I'll be honest, like Lucas Oil, like, yo, that's an indoor stadium. You gotta go play outdoors for a lot of these games, and the top 2 seed, in Denver and New England, open air, cold, not the most fun places to play in January.
Oh, it's a wild situation. And the funny thing is the Jaguars are doing this without Brian Thomas Jr. really contributing. A lot of this offense now is moving through Parker Washington and especially my guy Jakobi Meyers. And I say my guy, I can finally say my guy with a smile on my face now that he got out of prison, aka Las Vegas, and he's no longer a Raider. But I've always had a soft spot in my heart for Jakobi Meyers simply because he's always been reliable. Like for whatever team he was on, whether it was the Patriots or the Raiders, always reliable. Like he just makes catches. Just was not a flashy receiver. Wasn't like this, big huge name that was going to get this giant ass contract or anything like that, but he came to work and he did his job. And for a guy like me who wants team building to operate on the name on the front is more important than the name on the back, to quote Miracle, that I love that. Great team player. So now with the Jaguars also getting back Brenton Strange, who has been hitting and hammering as tight end 1. He was the reason why the Jags felt comfortable in not paying Evan Ingram in free agency and letting him walk and eventually come to Denver, was because of a player like Brenton Strange. And having him back from injury the past 2 games has been great for them. So it seems like you and I are both taking the Jaguars. So let's get from there to AFC North. We're getting a lot of divisional matchups this week with the Ravens and the Steelers, and that brings in Alan's question: do y'all think the Steelers fire Mike Tomlin and the Giants get him next? I think that if Mike Tomlin was fired, I think there's a very good chance that the Giants would want to hire him. I don't think Mike Tomlin would get fired, though. At the same time, I will say that the idea, because Alan, I don't know if you know the ownership. It's kind of the same family. The Rudy family owns the Steelers. The Mara family owns the Giants. There are 2 actresses who are siblings, Kate Mara and her sister, Rooney Mara. They are from both the Rooney family and the Mara family. I think Kate Mara actually has it in her contracts now that in the off chance that either the Giants or the Steelers are in the playoffs / Super Bowl, she is allowed to leave the set of whatever movie or TV show she happens to be filming to make sure that she can go and see the game, because I think she missed a Steelers playoff game or a Giants playoff game or something like that. But yeah, I don't know if the Giants would hire him, simply because like that idea of like, it's basically from the perspective of the two families, it's like your right hand is losing somebody and your left hand is gaining them. So like, I don't know if the Giants would hire Mike Tomlin. I don't know, but weirder things have happened in the sense of that would be a reason why they wouldn't hire him. But I just don't think that the Steelers are going to fire Mike Tomlin. It's just, I think you'd have to have a bad season. Like, because if he just treads water and he's able to just be like, well, different things just didn't break our way. And if we work on getting X, we'll be able to do Y. And he's like, well, Aaron Rodgers can only do so much. We thought he would be able to do much more. He couldn't. It is what it is. But I don't know. So that will be fun to see for going forward. But how would you answer this one, Chase?
I don't know if the Giants would go for a Tomlin, because I don't think a Tomlin fits with what the Giants really want. Because Tomlin's not a developer. Tomlin's like Tomlin's like, you have a team, you feel like your team can win. All right, we'll hire Mike Tomlin. Like, we don't know like if he can win us a Super Bowl, but we know that he has won one, and we know that his whole mantra is that he never loses. Like, right. When I say loses, like, he never has had a losing season as a head coach. So you at least know your team's going to win. With the Giants, it's kind of like Tomlin's not going to come in and like try to like repair this team. He's not going to repair what this team is. Like, he can do it, but it's more of like, hey, Mike Tomlin's going to tell them to open up the checkbooks. We got to do this. We got to have a winner right away. And the Giants, they're not looking at the roster saying, oh, let's win right away. Like, they've kind of missed on the Abdul Carter pick. That pick hasn't really panned out. Like, he's getting pressures, but the stats are showing that he's not really doing that well. So it's tough. I wouldn't hire Tomlin if I'm the Giants. But I don't think the Steelers will fire Tomlin either, because there's not really a coach that. The Steelers are an oddly loyal franchise where it's like the coach has to kind of retire for them to let go. Like, in my lifetime, I've only seen two coaches coach the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I think like if the Steelers somehow managed to go like 3-14 or 4-13, then I could see them firing Tomlin.
Yeah,
he's not going to do that, and two, it's just that like that's what it would take, I think, because as long as he goes the 8-9s, the 9-8s, the 10-7s, as long as he does like that range, and they're at least in playoff contention, he can look at them and say the thing that I have said so many times on this program and in our chats. If you're going to fire the head coach, who are you going to bring in to replace him? That's the issue. And it's like, you have to be able to find somebody better than Tomlin and know that you're going to get that person for you to feel comfortable going, I don't want Tomlin anymore.
Yeah, and the Steelers are such a different franchise than a lot of other franchises in the NFL, where like a lot of other franchises in the NFL, they have to worry about like season ticket holders, all this other crap. Like, there's these outside factors some fans don't think about. Like it's like always like when wrestling fans complain about certain things. I'm like, well, there's outside factors you gotta consider in this situation. This is why we have what we have. Same thing with the NFL. With the Steelers, it's like they can have season ticket holders be like, I'm not going to renew. That's cool. We have like 20,000 people on the wait list to be season ticket holders for the Steelers. We can just refill you. Like, that's just how it is. The Steelers are not like in the situation where like I'll give an example for the Patriots. The Patriots, yes, they were good for so many long years after the Brady era, but people forget before the Brady era, the Patriots were ass. Like, they were one of the worst organizations in the NFL. So if you're a Patriots fan and when Brady left and you gave up your season tickets, you were fine with that because you're saying, oh, well, we were bad before this. While the Steelers, throughout their time and history and everything, have just been excellence. Like, they've been excellence personified. They built this loyal fan base. The Patriots fan base, let's just be real, most of them were built up at, like, yes, the people that live in that New England, Boston area been fans for a long time, but a lot of their fan base was built up in the 2000s. The Steelers fan base has been built up in the 1970s. That's generations. That's legacy. There's kids and stuff like that were born into as Steeler fans. Like there's not a lot of like Patriots fans, like not a lot. So that's why when I said, oh, like, the Patriots have to worry about season tickets, like last year when I was talking about this, Steelers don't have to worry about this. Like if a fan wants to leave and not want to renew their season tickets, cool. You kind of fucked up because you gave up a good fee. And now all of a sudden we can refill that up with someone else.
Another thing to remember also is that if you're somebody who lives in Pittsburgh or from the Pittsburgh area and so on and so forth, like what do you have besides the Pirates? There's no NBA team. There's no hockey team. Well, I mean, no, sorry, no. There's Pittsburgh. What's it called? The Penguins. So, like, that's what you would have. You'd have either you are going to trade or try to trade the season tickets at the Steelers for Penguins season tickets. Like, it's just not, and it's a smaller arena, so those are much harder to fight over. So, I don't know. What else are you really going to do? And then while we're finishing up with the Jags, Alan also asking, do y'all think Travis Hunter, after this injury he had, will still try being a two-way player or stick to one spot? Like I said, from the moment he was drafted, when we did the draft recap, as soon as he gets the hit that takes him out for an extended period of time, they will make him wide receiver full-time. They're not gonna you are drafting him to be a wide receiver and be a spot starter or a spot fill-in for cornerback. That's what the Jags wanted. He was the one who talked about like playing both sides of the field all the time in an NFL season. The team never said that. The team gave no indication that they wanted him to do that. They were just like, yeah, he'll play defense from time to time. So yeah, he's going to be like, they need way more wide. It's easier to draft a cornerback than it is to draft a stud wide receiver. And it's easier to take a wide receiver of Travis Hunter's talent and continue to develop him into a stud wide receiver than it is to take a cornerback of his level and be like, or find a cornerback of his level. Like those guys you can get and develop over time. It's harder to take the raw material of the wide receiver that he is and turn him into even better. So that's got to be their primary focus. But
he's a tremendous athlete and stuff. Yeah. But I like his ambition. But yeah, like he's a good corner. I honestly said that he's better as a corner than he is as a wide receiver. But if you can fine tune the skills that he has, he's going to be a really good wide receiver in this league. But, the Jaguars, they kind of did say the reason why they drafted him because it was like getting two. They said this in his introductory. They said it was getting two players in one position. Like we filled two holes. That's what they said in his introductory press conference. So the Jaguars did say that they got a player that can fill two holes for them.
Yeah, like they didn't intend to have him play 100% of snaps all the time.
Yeah.
They're talking about like third downs, nickel packages, dime packages, and like in the random off chance that there's some ridiculous Hail Mary bomb at the end of a game, you can put Travis Hunter out there and know that he's going to be able to deflect the ball or get the interception. That's what you're looking for there. But let's turn to the Ravens and the Steelers. This is a Steelers team that, man, I don't think the Steelers know what they want to be as we talk about, Tomlin's future and whatnot. Obviously they want to be winners, but they don't really know how to go about doing that. Everyone's having like a quietly decent season. The Pat Fryermuths of the world, the Kenneth Gainwells, they're being good role players, but the Jalen Warrens are having a good season. Aaron Rodgers not having that great of a season, and DK Metcalf definitely has taken a step back. And I'm sure that Steelers fans are watching. Well, maybe not yesterday, but generally speaking, watching what's happening with Pickens in Dallas and being like, that's what we had not too long ago. But, with the good, you take the good with the bad with George Pickens, as the Cowboys found out last night. But I don't know. There's something about this Ravens team that is kind of on fire. And they are really, really ripping off wins, and they are really fighting for control of their division. And this is a big one. If you're the Steelers, you need to win this, because if you don't win this, the odds of being a wild card team are very, very slim. I'm wondering whether this Ravens team just does not just go all out, because if you win this, you've won the division. Like there's really no competition for you left to take the division from you. I'm going to go Ravens. I think that this is a chance for Derrick Henry to have a good, one of those vintage Derrick Henry games.
Yeah.
I will say that the passing attack for the Ravens has absolutely cooled off. So they need something, especially with Justice Hill going on IR. I think Keaton Mitchell is still a little banged up. Rasheen Ali is RB2 right now, I think, for the Ravens. They're going to need a lot of help from him to fill that Justice Hill role of those third downs and also the 2-minute drills, because Derrick Henry's not the greatest receiving back. He can do it, but he's not. That's not his forte.
Yeah. That's
so
not.
How do you feel about this one?
Yeah, I got the Ravens as well. Like the Steelers, they could win this game. I can easily see them winning this one. But the thing with the Ravens is just like when they play the Steelers, they kind of play up a little bit. Like they know it's a big game. It's going to be a close game. It's an AFC North game in December. You know these games are going to be ugly. Like they're not going to be the most fun to watch. You know it's going to be an ugly ass game between these two teams. But I do think that the Ravens pull off the win here, an ugly win, but it is something that will happen.
Yeah, and this is the first of the two. The second one's going to come at the very end of the season, and maybe this is similar to last year's drama in the sense that Minnesota and Detroit determined the division champion at the very end of the season. However, it's not between two teams that are killer teams, because the Ravens right now are not, like, they're good, but they're not killers, and the Steelers are far from killers. So it's not like it was last year. But let's turn to two teams who absolutely are not killers, both of them as well. Somehow I gotta try to find like good transitions, and that was, I mean, like how do you transition to this? Cam Ward gets to play against a really good defense again.
Yeah.
Like, what's that?
Mike McCoy doesn't do anything. Doesn't do any cool play calling. Just stands there confused half the time, looking like Mike McCoy looks like he just before every game he just gets drunk at whatever hotel bar they're at, and he looks hung over as fuck on the sideline. Like he just does not care. I've never seen a coach.
I was going to say, is that
like he just doesn't care.
Flashback to the Chargers? No.
No. Mike McCoy cared when he was on the Chargers. He just wasn't good. This right here, this is like he is told, "Yep, I am just filling the position. It's not going to be my like." He's like the interim store manager or interim like whatever job you worked. Have you ever worked a job, or any of you guys worked a job where you had a fill-in manager or interim manager, and you could tell they just knew that they were a fill-in, and they didn't really care that they were at your location because they weren't going to become the person to take over your location. They weren't going to be they weren't going to get like the opportunity to become the leader. They just sat there and they said, fuck it. It's whatever. That's Mike McCoy. He's over here saying, fuck this. I really don't care. I don't care about this. And like I said, he probably goes at whatever what's the hotel sponsor of the NFL? Marriott or something, whatever Marriott they're at. He's just sitting at the bar, drinking whatever gin or vodka he likes, just drinking. He wakes up hungover. He probably, his pregame speeches are just probably him being like, all right, guys, we know who we're facing. We're facing a very tough, hungry team, but we're just as hungry. We're just as tough. Go out there and do your best. Like, that's all he's saying. And Cam Ward's just like, he'd be saying the same thing every fucking week. Like, this motherfucker don't care. Like, he just doesn't care.
That's wild.
Yeah, the Browns. Give me the Browns. I can't with the tie. I feel bad for Cam Ward.
Two things I think is hilarious from this. One, where is it? To Alan's point, this game does have some interesting implications in general for who picks first overall, because Cleveland has 3 wins, Titans have 1 win. So there's some NFC teams in there, and then the Raiders at 2-10. But still, it has some interesting implications there. Myles Garrett can break the sack record here if you wanted to. The Titans.
Yeah, dude. Like the Titans' old line is like so beat up too. Like Myles Garrett's probably going to break the sack record.
I mean, but what I think is interesting is, remember, these are the 2 quarterbacks who but during the preseason, remember they were having like those workouts and everything, and Cam Ward's like joking around with Shedeur Sanders, and he's right now. Shedeur Sanders has only started in what, like 2 games, and he has the same number of wins as Cam Ward has over the course of this entire season.
Yeah, no, Shedeur, he gonna come up and be like, "Yo, Cam, I'm a real leader. I'm winning. I'm gonna win for you in the league."
That's got to stick in the craw.
Bro, who did the Titans even beat? I can't even remember. Like, who did they beat? How did they get this one win?
This one mythical win.
Was it the Bengals or something? Like, there has to be them. Like, I'm like,
oh no, you ready?
Yeah.
22-21 by 1 point.
Panthers.
Your Arizona Cardinals.
Oh, of course, my Cardinals. They do this all the time. Was McCoy the coach, or was it the other idiot? The guy they fired?
I think Callahan.
Callahan got his 1 win before. Damn, that's you're the interim coach and you can't even get a fucking win.
No. So that was week 5, October 5th. They win that game, right? They're 1-4. The next week, October 12th, they lose to the Raiders 20-10, and then they fired Callahan. After they went 1-5. Oh, okay. So
what win for the Raiders? Like, they're like, yeah, we beat the number 1 seed Patriots. Oh, who else did you beat? The Titans. That's weird, right? You beat the bet technically right now. Like, I know your Broncos have the better record, but technically you beat you beat one of the best teams in the AFC as one of your wins. And then you lose, and then you beat the worst team in the AFC. Like, that's the weirdest wins I've ever heard.
Listen, I hope that they talk about that first week 1 game and they convince ownership that Geno Smith should stay in the Raiders, because that will help you and I for a couple more years to come.
I don't think they have a choice, John. I think he's there for 2 more years. I don't think they have a choice. They already paid him.
You're taking the Browns in this one?
Of course. I can't. Dude, Mike McCoy, he's in Cleveland too. He's going to be all right. He's going to be like chilling in the Marriott bar and or whatever, Doubletree Inn, Health Inn. He's going to be at the bar. Jeffrey Simmons like, "Yo, coach, we got a game to coach." And he goes, "Yeah, I know, man. Just a few more drinks." And then by 2 a.m, he's going to fall asleep. He's going to get woken up at 10 or 11, hungover. He's gonna be like, "What polo am I gonna wear today?" Throw on the home polo. He gets to the stadium. He's like, "Oh fuck, I forgot we're away." And then later on, the equipment manager has to get him the away polo. And then he's like all confused. He gives his usual pregame speech, and then he just calls 2 run plays, 1 pass play on 3rd down. And then he's like, "You know what? I actually got this cool trick play. Let's do this." And he's gonna call Wildcat, and then Cam Ward's just gonna be like, "The fuck." Like, give me a real head coach, please. Like, all I'm asking for is like a real head coach.
Oof.
And if you're the Titans, dude, you really got to land this head coaching because you're getting a new stadium. You have a quarterback already. I think Cam Ward is a starting quarterback in the NFL. I think he's shown me enough. What?
Titans ready to go to Texas and bring back their new coach, Steve Sarkisian.
No, yeah, I think Sark would be a good coach for Cam Ward. I honestly think that's what Sark is aiming at. Because if you're Sark, a lot of people are saying, "Oh, New York," but I feel like with Sark, he's looking at it like, "Nah, let me go to Tennessee. Let me go with this new stadium that they're going to build. I have a young quarterback that I have experience with, because he did try to recruit Cam Ward to come to Texas. Like, that was one of his themes that he wanted to try to get Cam Ward on that team. So he's very familiar with Cam Ward, but it's a young team that he can kind of build around. Unlike New York, where it's a young team, but they put a lot of money into certain guys. Like Brian Burns has a lot of money tied towards him. They already tied their left tackle and Andrew Thomas to a lot of money. And Andrew Thomas is a good left tackle, but is he like a super duper franchise left tackle? No, not really. He's like Tunsil. Like, you're happy he's on your team because your quarterback can be protected, but it's not like a Joe Alt. It's not like Joe Alt where he's the best player on the team.
All right, we get it.
No, it is true or false. Isn't Joe Alt the best Charger on the roster? Who's the best Charger?
Who's
the best Charger? Who's the best Charger? Is it it's Joe Alt?
No, the best Charger is Madison Beer right now.
No, it's Joe Alt 1, Madison Beer 2. That's it.
No.
Yeah, Joe Alt's the greatest. I miss him.
She takes care of Herbert's heart. Alt takes care of Herbert's body.
Yeah, no, sometimes before
Herbert still throws like 3-4 interceptions in a playoff game. It's fine.
John, sometimes before I go to bed, I'll look at a picture of Joe Alt and I say, "Please protect me from nightmares." And he always shows up when the nightmare's coming. I see big old 76 blocking the nightmare from coming. Man, he's a great guy. Love Joe Alt.
Let's turn to a team. You know what? Here's my Joe Alt praise. Let's turn to a matchup between two teams, one of which wishes they did have Joe Alt, and that's the Cincinnati Bengals.
Probably the Bills.
Look at that transition. God, I'm good at this. Because that would have allowed
them to you up for that one if I didn't bring up Joe Alt.
That allows them to keep QB1 upright. But Joe Burrow, when he does play and he's able to make his return, somehow, some way he can find a way. And the thing is that I think what was nice is that Joe Burrow, he normally starts seasons slow, right? He got to avoid all of that by just getting hurt. And now he's like in prime Joe Burrow standpoint. It just sucks that the team did not get any wins really between when he got hurt and when he came back. However, much like many teams in the AFC, there technically is still a path to winning, particularly for the Bengals, because last week they mollywopped the Baltimore Ravens. They beat them pretty handily. They were controlling that game for a large portion of the game, and that was without T. Higgins. So now it seems as though they could be getting T. Higgins back. I know he practiced in full yesterday. Today, Friday, he gets his last opportunity to practice in full before the game and see if he can clear concussion protocol. But with or without him, they will be traveling to Orchard Park to Buffalo Bills to take them on. And now they're facing a Bills team that this is kind of unknown territory for the Bills in the past couple of years. The idea that they are fighting for a wild card spot and that they need a lot of help to get in, because the Bills right now 8-4, but it's a shaky proposition because of how many other 8-4 teams there are.
Yeah.
You have a situation where if the Colts beat the Jaguars, then the Jaguars drop back into the wild card at 8-5, but what exactly does that mean for you if you don't win a game like this, right? Like there's a lot of jockeying for position that is going to happen with these teams. So let's see, can the Bills, this seems like a vintage AFC matchup, right? From the past 5-6 years. Vintage, right? Like this is a great afternoon game. I won't be watching that much of it because of the next one that we'll be talking about, but it does seem to be a vintage game. This one seems like a coin flip. It seems like
I don't agree. I don't agree with the odds on this one. I don't think the Bengals are that heavy. Like plus 220 is pretty heavy for me. Like I don't think they're that much of underdogs against the Bills, because we've seen it. Like how many times have we gone on this show and we say, "Oh, the Bills play down to their competition," and then the next week we're like, "Oh, don't worry, the Bills will get right. Josh Allen will break some record. He'll look phenomenal." Like tell us all this time. It happened again. Bills lost, and then we said, don't worry, Josh Allen's going to break some record. And they won. They won against the Steelers. Josh Allen now is the NFL rushing touchdown leader for quarterbacks, surpassing Cam Newton. Looked great, looked phenomenal. But against this game against the Bengals, who are pretty much playing in desperation, while the Bills, it's kind of like the Bills are kind of like half days. Like they don't know, like, are we in desperation mode? Should we be concerned about missing the playoffs? Is this like, are we in critical? Like how much, like that's where they're at right now. And so like the Bengals, if they catch the Bills, like what they do, where after a big win, the Buffalo Bills seem to like to take a week off and not be the Buffalo Bills we all know they can be, then it's just like, oh, the Bengals can come in and kick their asses. Like I truly believe that's a possibility.
If you're the Bills, though, you need to know what's going on, because after this week, you are at Patriots, and the Patriots are going to be coming off a bye, and they beat you last time. Then you're at Browns, which that's one of those situations where we're talking about playing down to the level of competition, and that's their strength is their defense. Then it's Philadelphia Eagles, and then finally week 18 is the Jets. You have to win out of these 1, 2, 3. You have to win like 3 out of these 4 just to be able to tie the Patriots wins right now.
Yeah, and then the Patriots schedule that
has to be the Patriots.
And the Patriots schedule is also going to get I think their schedule is kind of a little bit tougher too. And so you could steal the AFC East from them. You can easily steal the AFC East from the Patriots if you handle your business, and they should handle their business against the Bengals. And so I'm going to put trust that the Bills are going to handle their business and they're going to win. But the injuries that they do have in the secondary do cause me concern, because if Joey B gets enough time, and it's not like that this Bills pass rush, like, also very inconsistent, this Bills pass rush. You know, like some games Joey Bosa looks like a world beater. Then there's other games where Joey Bosa is just like Chargers Joey Bosa.
Also
like what he doing?
Also tails all the time.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, sometimes hit or miss. Gregory Rousseau, he's not really being this elite pass rusher you thought he was going to be and stuff. So I do think that the Bills, they need to be up for this game. I do expect them to be up, but hey, man, if Joey B, if you give him at least 3 drives where he can like just figure out what you're doing, he's going to kill you the rest of the game. And then especially if T. Higgins can get out concussion protocol and your secondary is pretty beat up for the most part, I can see a world where the Bengals do beat the Bills. I guess upset the Bills, but I think the Bills, I think they'll wake up for this game.
That's why I'm taking the Bengals. I think this is a situation where I trust the Bengals offense more, if that sounds weird, because I know what Chase can do, and I know what Chase Brown can do, and this is a situation where you have the Gesicki's and the Noah Fants of the world just ready. Those guys are ready to be the ones with this hurting Bills secondary when they try to focus on Chase. Even if Higgins isn't there, that's when Gesicki, Fant, and Chase Brown come into play. And it just feels like this is a good – obviously, this is the strength on strength issue here, like the Bengals offense versus the Bills defense. Not that the Bills defense is the strength of the team, but that the Bills offense should really have not much of an issue against the Bengals defense. Like that, it should be a shootout. On paper, this should be a shootout. So that I just got to give that edge to the Bengals, because I'm trusting the best wide receiver in the game. You know, sure, we can make an argument that this season it's JSN, but like it's Chase. It's either Chase or it's Justin Jefferson. It's Justin Jefferson or it's Puka Nacua. So, sure, or we'll throw Puka Nacua in the argument there for being like number 3, but Chase is just that guy. So I don't know, like this one feels like a really fun one to me. I'm a little sad that I'm going to be missing it, like kind of live-ish, but maybe I'll catch the back half, depending on how the first half of this next one goes, which we'll get to in one sec. But Alan pointing out, it's funny, all your good teams that have been in the playoffs every year have been playing bad and are now like, it's time, playoff mode on. But that's why they're the playoff teams, right? Mm-hmm. Like that. Because when they know that when it's time to turn it up, they turn it up. Like the whole concept of the Chiefs sleepwalk through the regular season and all that shit. Then as they get closer, they turn it on. And that's crazy. We might see Ravens, Bengals, Bills, and Chiefs not make it to the playoffs. Yeah, that will be fascinating if that happens. Honestly, I think the best team here that has a chance of making the playoffs is probably the Ravens, because I think they have the best hold of their division. The Bills the Bills can't really take the division, so they have to be a wild card team, and the Chiefs absolutely can't take the division, so they have to be a wild card team themselves. But let's turn to the team that the Chiefs can't take the division from, and that's the Denver Broncos as they travel to take on the Raiders. I do not like that this money line is like this, but I tend to say that about almost all Bronco games this year. So Nick Bonito's awesome. Let's start there.
Yeah.
And, goodness gracious, the Broncos defense allowed a lot of fun for the Commander fans, targets and yardage to Zach Ertz. And I'm really hoping that they're going to be able to better cover tight ends going forward. But the other aspect of it that concerns me is that the Commanders really executed a smart game plan on how to beat Denver or how to beat Denver's defense. At one point in time, Marcus Mariota was throwing the ball at around 1.75 seconds from snap to release. That's insane. That's like you don't have it. Like you're snapping the ball, you're looking up and you're throwing. Like you are in throwing motion as you're looking up. That's crazy to me because you don't know where that ball is going. Now, in this situation, they were lucky that they had good receivers. And the reason why I'm saying it's concerning is because any team that Denver is going to face in the playoffs will have good receivers. That's the nature of being a playoff team. The other aspect of it that was concerning for me from the Denver perspective was the run game. Harvey, he got 2 touchdowns, and it looked good on paper. But if you look at the yardage that Harvey was getting,
you're not hitting the holes.
He's not hitting the hole. And I don't know. I think he is more of like that outside zone run. So like they got to get him more into space. They got to get him, maybe try to do a little bit of the old halfback toss play, things like that, just to try to get him into space so that he can use that speed and get further downfield. It is a team that is absolutely missing J.K. Dobbins from a run perspective. And I'm really surprised that they weren't trying to get another running back. I know that they like Jaleel McLaughlin and Tyler Boyd.
Yeah.
Neither of them are prototypical thumper running backs. They're not.
No.
They're smaller, shifty guys, much like RJ Harvey. Dobbins is the thumper guy. So it was like losing him is a big, big issue. So these are all concerns for the future, really, because I don't think the Raiders have the defense to be able to stop the Denver offense. However, Max Crosby is an annoying asshole.
Mm-hmm.
So, actually, I got a question.
Yeah.
What would have happened to Max Crosby? I'm teeing you up for this, but like, what would have happened to Max Crosby if Joe Alt had been on the field when he shoved Herbert to the ground? After Herbert was kind of the aggressor there. I will say
that was good. Hey man, Herbert
didn't deserve the shove to the ground.
Herbert got whatever Mahomes got to play that game with a broken hand, man. Like, remember the Super Bowl against the first one against the Eagles? Mahomes looked like he was done and stuff, and then all of a sudden, his eyes looked buggy and stuff. Herbert was on some great medication because he was feisty and stuff. And hey, Max Crosby didn't need to be a sore sport like that. But Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater both would have tackled Max Crosby to the ground and made sure this guy could never play again. That's for sure. But John, I'm going to piss you off here because aren't the Chargers and the Broncos? We're the last game of the season, right? We play each other last.
Correct.
I can already hear the music of NBC. I can already hear it's Sunday Night Football as the Chargers and the Broncos battle. Winner takes the AFC West. But the Broncos have to lose some games. They have to lose some games. And, hey, Chase Stradamus, I was right with the Cowboys and the Eagles. I was on fire with that. So I'm going to do this here.
Right about are the Cowboys going to win the
division? Did I not predict the Bears to beat the Eagles?
Are the Cowboys going to win the division at 6-7-1?
The Eagles have to lose out. It's okay. We're almost there. We're almost there. But what I'm saying is, I do see a world where it's Sunday Night Football and our two stupid teams are playing against each other for the AFC West. But the Broncos have to lose some games for this to happen. So, and the Raiders have already beaten the best team in the AFC and the Patriots. Why can't they do the same with the Broncos? I am going with the Las Vegas Raiders. To upset the Broncos can only get away for so long with these little nice wins. I think the Raiders, they overcome Genty. This will be the Genty game. Just how Genty had that game against the Bears.
Here's the problem. I actually kind of agree with you.
Yeah, like I feel this is because I don't know why something I saw because the way that the Broncos and Chargers are at right now, I'm just like I can totally picture it's Sunday Night Football. Knicks because they. Look at that final schedule what other game are you putting for the Sunday night game? What other game are you going to flex into that Sunday night prime time?
Hold on.
What's the most interesting
I'll tell
game?
you right now, since you're trying to just find a way for the Chargers to get a free fucking.
What do you mean? I'm just saying our teams are the most interesting. Sean Payton, Jim Harbaugh.
Stop it.
You just don't want it.
Lions Bears.
Oh my! But the Lions have no chance of getting first place in the NFC North. They're done for that.
What are you talking about? They're 8-5.
No, they're done.
They're 8-5.
The Bears are beating the Packers this weekend, guys. Right? Book it.
Ravens Steelers. That also can be.
No, they're horrible. That's not fun. There's no young
Niners. Seahawks Niners, sir.
Oh,
Colts and Texans.
John, you're saying a bunch of games I don't want to see. I want to see Herbert and Knicks.
Hey, what you want to see and what is going to be the most interesting from a determination standpoint. Two very different things, sir.
No, the Chargers and Broncos are the most interesting. That's the most interesting.
You know what they're going to do? Here's what's going to happen. They're going to make Seahawks Niners earlier in the day, and then Sunday Night Football. You know, whoever's winning that game can potentially win out the division if the Cardinals beat the Rams.
No.
No, I'm kidding. I can't even say
that'd be terrible. I will not watch. I think Collins will call out sick. Yeah, Mike, I'm not calling that game. But yeah, no, I think the Raiders I think they have to get one more stupid win. Like they're due for a stupid win. And I do think that we're setting up for a Chargers Broncos AFC West winner takes all week 17. Whether it's the Sunday night game,
I like that.
I don't like it either. Right? It's very stressful.
It's funny, we both don't like it because we think our team's gonna win.
Yeah, I don't like it either. I think it's a horrible thing to do. But yeah, I do think that's where we're headed. I think we're headed towards Sunday Night Football, Chargers Broncos, winner take all. But the Broncos have to lose some games in the remaining weeks that we have, and this is one of them that they will lose.
It is just interesting because I just know that's the game where Herbert remembers that Ladd McConkey's on the team, and then just goes, "Oh yeah, I don't have to throw to Keenan Allen all the time."
Yeah,
guy. But let's turn to Packers Bears. So I think you're picking the Bears there because you.
Yes, I've been like, hey, this Eagles team. By the way, lost Jalen Carter. Sucks for them. But this Eagles team, this defense, man, the Bears found their formula. Well, young guy and Swift, and it's been working. And Kalo's been looking good. I think they found a formula. Like Jordan Love, he's not going to be Thanksgiving Jordan Love every week. I don't see him throwing 4 touchdowns. And the Bears defense has kind of woken up a little bit. Like they're playing a lot better.
They're getting healthier. That's part of what.
Yeah, they're looking a lot better. So I can see a world where it's just like, hey, the Bears, like they're riding this great momentum while the Packers, like they have momentum. And, the Bears, they do have to slow down Michael Parsons because he was incredible on Thanksgiving as well.
I think the difference here is like if either of these teams was behind by say 10 points, who would you trust more to tie the game? The Packers or the Bears? I would trust the Bears.
Yeah, because they've done it. Like I've seen the Bears do it a lot this season, where they just like they'll be down and then all of a sudden they just get like a nice little return and they don't go away from their strategy. Like, yeah, I got the Bears. I think the Bears can win this game.
If the Bears win this game, I think they are. I think that makes that week 18 game between the Lions and the Bears kind of meaningless. I think the Bears take full control of the division if they win.
You remember when we did our division previews, and I said like when you look at the Bears, they have to look at this like they have to make the playoffs because this is why you hired Ben Johnson and stuff, and it's Right. It's coming to fruition where it's like, but like the first seed, they're the first seed in the NFC. Like it's like the weirdest thing to look at. It's like, wait, the Bears are the first seed, not this team. It's the Chicago Bears. Really, we looking at them as the first seed right now. It's kind of insane.
It is fascinating. I think it was like if the with a loss, the Bears' odds of making the playoffs drop like ridiculously. But with a win, it's like 90-something% or some nonsense, something stupid, something like I was just like looking at it.
Yeah, well, I think there's some tie because like the Bears, a lot of their big wins have come against the AFC teams.
So if they win this week against Green Bay, NFL.com is saying it's a 92% chance of making the playoffs. If they lose, it's 67, and currently it's 74, and they're the number 1 seed. Because if they lose to this week, I think they drop to like the 7th seed or something like that.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because the Packers right now are the Packers right now are the 7th seed.
The Packers are the 6th seed. The Niners are the 7th seed.
Oh yeah, 9. Yeah, like these AFC teams that are complaining it's hard to make the playoffs. Hey man, the NFC is way worse. There's a lot of good teams that are looking on the outside looking in and stuff.
Yeah, it is really fascinating.
How fucked up is this, man? The Panthers are on a bye week. We can't even give them credit for their big win. Like it's just like, fuck you guys.
Oh, we're about to. We're about to.
Why? Like I don't know, Mike.
What don't you know?
I don't know if I want to talk about this game. The Cardinals and Rams. We know the Rams are winning.
All right, so you know what? Let's use this time. Let's use this.
Yeah, let's give credit to Bryce Young, dude.
Praise the Panthers for doing some great shit, and you know the Panthers gutsed out a really tough win against one of the best teams. The team projected to go to the Super Bowl from the NFC. And they were able to beat them. And now you can make an argument of any given Sunday. And obviously the Panthers are going to have to build on this. But luckily, they don't really face – like they face the Saints, and then they face Tampa Bay, Seattle, Tampa Bay. So like you're in a situation where you really will know by the end of this season whether Bryce Young is the guy. And they picked up your boy's 5th-year option. They picked up Bryce Young's 5th-year option.
They believe. They believe in their
quarterback from Alabama that Chase has ever seen in his life.
Yeah.
And no, Chase does not have the same level of mental faculties that fellow Alabama quarterback Tua Tagovailoa has.
No.
But listen, if you're the Cardinals and all you got to do is try to just do enough to look good, but then keep you the draft pick. Like that's what else?
Do you think Gannon's done after this year? Like they give up on the Gannon experience? Like they just say, like, sorry, buddy.
Honestly, I don't know because I think the issue there is here's the thing: if they give up on Gannon, which obviously means they're giving up on Drew Petzing, like you're obviously giving up on Kyler Murray, right? So that means it's got to be a new head coach who, with at least right now, the 8th overall pick, has to be looking for a quarterback. Unless you're going to sign 30-something-year-old Jacoby Brissett to continue to be the starter for next year. Like now, arguably, is there an argument that like you go, hey, Mac Jones, do you want to be a starter or do you want to be the backup? Continue being the backup to Brock Purdy. Like, do you want to be able to throw to Marvin Harrison Jr. and Trey McBride? Yeah. Like that's not a bad thing for Mac Jones to do, but the question is who's going to be that head coach? Because like you got to.
If Tomlin ever got fired for the Steelers, he'd be the perfect Cardinals head coach. I could just totally see.
That's not that he can't play.
No. With that roster, Tomlin will make them 9-7, 9-8.
I don't know if I can see that one. I don't know.
No, I could see Tomlin in the Cardinals year just looking at it. It's such an Arthur Smith coach hire, such a Matt Nagy coach hire team. They'll just hire Matt Nagy. They'll just say like, fuck it, we'll bring Nagy in. He did okay for the Bears. Why not? Like,
hey, he left the Bears and won a couple rings there with the Chiefs. So
yeah, took Eric Bieniemy, got Eric Bieniemy blackballed from coaching ever again. This guy, all these people. Why isn't Bieniemy getting a chance? You see why now. He's no longer coaching. He can't even coach college.
Well, look at that. Let's turn and talk about the team that he is the
offensive. I don't know, man. This has been a rough week for me, man. You want to talk about this bullshit?
Well, Patrick, let us know. How do you feel about
56 million people saw me lose, man. 56 million people tuned in to watch my downfall. That's why they tuned in. They didn't tune in because of the Cowboys. They tuned in to watch me lose. They were celebrating my victory, John. You know how that makes me feel that 56 million people wanted me to fail? You don't
know,
have 56
I have a
million
question.
people tuning in to watch you fail.
Hey, Pat, I got a question for you. Do you
No.
think out of those 56 million, one of them might be like a starting quality running back for you?
I hope, man. Hopefully one of them was watching and saying, man, I really need to help Patrick. I also need a wide receiver. How the fuck did what's his face? Rashid Rice not catch that ball, man?
Oh, stop it. Rashid Rice is playing great.
No, I threw the ball right at him and he dropped it. And then Travis, he's so focused on a stupid ass wedding, he didn't even think about catching the rebound. This is ridiculous, man. Always on me. It's always on me. And everyone's saying, well, Kareem Hunt's been playing well. Yeah, we had to give him the ball 30 times just for him to play well. That's not winning football, John.
How do you foresee your
man? I see my offensive line not fucking blocking. I'm getting sacked. I'm over here hurting in pain. And Coach Reed looking at me being like, hey, Pat, you got to do this. You got to step up. And I've been stepping up all season, man.
So you think you're going to beat the Texans?
No, man. How can we?
Pat, I just want you to know that if you lose to the Texans, you are not making the playoffs.
Man. And Don, this is why I've been riding with the Texans the last few weeks. Let's put a fork in them. Let's put a fork in the Chiefs once and for all. Fuck them. I don't care. There's no analysis in this. Texans, let's fucking go. Put a fork in the Kansas City Chiefs. Do it. Just do it. Get rid of these guys.
I will say that. I will, to be objective, I will say this. CJ Stroud has been played well in his return, and Jaden Higgins is really coming on as a guy for the Texans with, to help back up Nico Collins. I, too, am taking the Texans to win this game.
Man, choose against me like always. I can't play defense, guys. Am I the linebacker making the calls on the defense? No. People blaming me for the loss against the Cowboys. I'm sorry. Am I playing cornerback, John? Am I covering CD Lamb and George Pickens? No, that's my stupid ass corners.
Pat, Davion would like to know why did you ask the owner why Joe Thuney was traded?
Yeah, man, he was traded because he couldn't play left tackle. Fuck him.
And then Alan has a question for Chase. If you will remove the spirit possession that you have, Pat, for a moment or two. He's saying, Chase, who's the best quarterback in the NFL from Bama, Bryce Young or Jalen Hurts?
Bryce Young. This is not a question. Like, Bryce Young played with the least amount of talent. Jameson Williams was his only real number one wide receiver, but he played with the least amount of talent, Bryce Young, and got the most out of Alabama, led a lot more clutch drives than Jalen Hurts ever did for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Like, yes, Bryce Young played with Jameson Williams and Jahmyr Gibbs, plenty, both on the Lions. But other than that, Bryce didn't really have, like, the roster like a Jalen Hurts, like a Tua, like a AJ McCarron, like a Greg McElroy, like they had, like all the Alabama quarterbacks and Mac Jones that have won national championships. They've had way better rosters offensively, especially offensive line-wise. AJ McCarron probably played behind one of the best Alabama offensive lines of all time. Tua had the best trio of wide receivers, and Jalen Hurts had probably one of the best Alabama complete teams. And, he made one national title, and he almost beat Clemson, but almost doesn't cut it. And then he got benched in the national championship game for Tua because he was not playing well, Jalen Hurts. So, like, Jalen Hurts, professional, like when I say best Bama quarterback, I'm not saying like in the pros. I'm talking about just in their college careers. Jalen Hurts, probably professional-wise, yes, he is the best Bama quarterback. But then there's the debate, well, can you claim him because he did go to Oklahoma? Yes, I claim Jalen Hurts. He's won the SEC title for Alabama 3 times, because people forget Tua got hurt against Georgia and Jalen Hurts stepped in that game, and he won 3 SEC title games for us. So, yes, he is an Oklahoma quarterback as well, but he also does claim Alabama. He does say roll tide and go Sooners. So,
we're gonna see another rematch of that, another meeting tomorrow. Actually, yeah. Bama and Georgia. It's the SEC championship.
Oh yeah. Oh, I got confused. I thought you were talking about like the NFL. I was looking. I was like, what? And yeah. SEC. Texas A&M fumbled, but but with this new college football playoff bracket, it kind of helped Texas A&M because it's okay for them to lose because they're still going to make the playoffs, but now they don't have to worry about great. Bama has to win to make the playoffs.
Yeah. And then wasn't it? Well, I saw something which is like I think Georgia's never beaten Bama in Atlanta or something like that.
Yeah. So in the SEC title, Kirby Smart has not beaten Alabama in Atlanta. Yeah. So like the SEC title game, it's been one of those games where it's just like Georgia can beat Alabama in the regular season, but then sometimes when it comes to the SEC title game, and that's another one, like we just end up beating Georgia a lot of times. Like it's just one of those weird things that we do.
We shall see tomorrow how that one happens. Alan saying Patrick's about to find out what it's like to not play the AFC Championship for the first time.
Shut up! I am making this shit up.
And then Patrick jokes about he had to play left tackle because one.
Yeah, man. Yeah, shut up. I know. I'm on the fucking team. I understand this, Dave. You on shit. Are you in the locker room too? What you think because you are reading all the articles online that you know shit? I'm there, man. I know what happened. He just wasn't playing well. Fuck.
And Javion also saying, let's go Bama. Let's win this SEC championship. NXT deadline can wait on Sunday night.
Yeah. No, but I'm very nervous. I work during the SEC title game too, so I have to I have to strategize.
It's very good that you told me that because otherwise I would be messaging you.
I'll have to I have to strategize when I can turn on my phone to watch and stuff. Like I'm hoping it's one of those days where it's busy, but it's not like I have to go. There's different days where there's busy days where it's like, okay, like I got to do this, this, and this. But like those days I can at least turn on the games and watch. But when it's busy where I have to be full speed and shit, I can't because then it takes my focus away from work. And when I want to be focused in work, I can't have my focus get taken away. Like I'm one of those people, I can multitask, but if I really have a goal that I need to accomplish, I stay focused on that goal.
Well, let's bring up one of those Bama quarterbacks that you were just talking about. Had to compare Jalen Hurts leading the Eagles. AJ Brown's happy because he's getting catches even though they're losing. Yeah. But they now get to travel to Los Angeles.
I'll be there.
You're going to the game?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
This is also the if you guys are curious, the Monsters Inc. game. So if you want to watch yeah. So if you want to watch the different casts, we are Team Sully. The Eagles are Team Mike Wazowski.
Mike Wazowski.
Mike Wazowski.
But here we have an Eagles team that is not doing well, unless you're AJ Brown, and they have to take on a Chargers team that is, no offense, fighting for its life, in the idea that they are 8-4, but every other team in the wild card is 8-4. So it's like, what happens if we lose? So it is one of those situations where for your prophecy to come true, they have to go punch for punch now with Denver and try to make up that ground. They got to make up at least one game because they'll get the opportunity to beat Denver for a second time this season in week 18. But they got to pick up wins like this. So I'm assuming you're picking the Chargers here.
Oh yeah, I'm picking the Chargers. I especially now that Jalen Carter's out. Thank God.
Is Omar in Hampton back?
We don't know yet.
Because he was game time. The talk was that he would have been back last week. They said we're going to kick it another week. I mean, Kamani Vidal and Jared Patterson doing Lord's work right now to keep that team alive.
This reminds me.
I saw that smile after you talked shit about Patterson and Kamani Vidal.
No, I like Vidal. I said Jared Patterson. I don't like. We need to replace that, bro. This is better than whatever the fuck I watched for the Jaguars game where we had two dudes that I did not know existed and should not be in the NFL. Like I was heated watching that. This reminds me of when Eckler and Gordon were both out, and we had to use Justin Jackson and one other fuckhead. I can't remember who it was as our running backs, and I was just like, oh my god! Like,
was it Spiller?
No, Isaiah Spiller was on the team at this time. No, it wasn't Isaiah Spiller. It was Maybe Joshua Kelly. Maybe
it probably was Joshua Kelly.
maybe him. I'm not sure. I always remember one year in Madden, I just had Justin Jackson, Joshua Kelly, and Isaiah Spiller. They all 3 split touches, and I had a 3-headed monster at running back. None of them got 1,000 yards, but I used them all. I used them all in their own unique ways. It was fun, and plus they were cheap. They always just stayed 70 overall. They never got better because they never broke records or shit. So I was just like, I'll keep all 3 of you for cheap. I never drafted like a dominant running back, but I do think like if Hampton does play, big boost for the Chargers run game.
Yes.
Chargers defense seems a little. I feel we play strong against what the Eagles want to do. I think this is where the Chargers defense kind of thrives and shines. The Eagles' offensive line is beat up, so I think that helps us. No Jalen Carter once again. That's very nice because Jalen Carter is a monster, and that makes it a lot easier for the running holes for Vidal and hopefully Hampton. I also do like Chargers on Monday Night Football. We tend to play, unless we're playing the Cardinals, we play well against Monday Night Football. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to go to the game, first game this season. Normally I go to more, but this year it was just like not really chances, and it doesn't help when they take away the one game I like going to live, and we decide to put it in Brazil. Fuck you, NFL, for that.
That's fair. Well, I also am picking the Chargers. I like the idea of having these 3 wide receivers that you don't really know 100% who's going to pop off. I mean, usually it's not going to be Quentin Johnson, but between Keenan Allen and Lad McConkey, there are a lot of options there. And Aronde Gadsden's kind of like taking a little bit of a backseat.
Oh, he's great.
It's kind of what you need from that tight end. You need him just to be there as the safety valve because you want to be pushing the ball downfield through Allen, McConkey, or maybe QJ. So I think it's this one's seems like it's going to be a really fun game. Like it's one of the more fun games I think of the weekend. Like for me, it's definitely Bengals Bills at number 1. I would probably have Jags Colts number 2 just from the sheer like what the hell can happen for the AFC South. Ravens Steelers for that same reason, but I think Chargers Eagles absolutely in the mix, even though it doesn't really have division ramifications. But we are going to turn now to our power rankings, which we are going to be updating from, I think it was week 7 was the last time we did them.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: which would you like to do first, AFC or NFC?
AFC first. I think that one's a little bit easier. The NFC, there's a lot more thought that you have to give to these teams, I would say.
All right, so do that. Share screen. Okay, whoa, not yet. And now let me see. What is the best way to? Aha. Okay, yes. All right, so AFC week 7. This is what it looked like as of then. We were doing, goodness, this is going to be interesting. All right. So you can see from the green arrows and the red arrows where you and I had them at the beginning of the season and what our changes were at the time. So I still had the Bills number 1. I moved the Chiefs up a spot. The Chargers up 3 spots, Denver up a spot. We can see it. The biggest risers at the time absolutely was the Colts. I don't think anybody really expected the Colts to have the season that they were having at the time by week 7, And then also the Patriots were having a move up as well as the Jaguars. And then the biggest losers at the time for me was the Ravens because by week 7 they were 1-6, or 1-5, and then this was going into week 7, and then also was the Bengals because they had lost Joe Burrow. You dropped them down a good chunk as well, and then one of the other big drops or big losers that we had was the Dolphins. So let's look at now. Okay, technically we're going to imagine that says week 14, not week 13, but this is blank, right? This is exactly what the previous screen was. But what I did was I put together a list of not just, where they were, but what they've done in the interim. So that's why I forgot to do this. There we go. That gives us more real estate there. All right. So now you can see and get a really good idea of who they have beaten, who they have lost, what the change in the record has been from what it was in week. Oh no, this is correct. Actually, this is still week 7.
Yeah, week
from
7. Yeah.
to week 14.
Okay.
And the teams that have their thing listed in gray are the current division leaders. So we can use this as reference to see how we want to move teams, but let's see how you feel or how we feel about these teams currently. So do you still have I think for me, I think the Patriots got to be number 1.
Yeah, I got the Patriots at 1.
So let's do it like I need a little bit of space. Oh
Yeah, man, it's okay. Keep doubting us, man.
Listen, buddy.
Poor Pat.
It's just annoying because like I want to be able to punch you/Pat in the face, but like I know it's not Pat that I'm talking to.
What the hell, man? That's messed up. What did I ever do to deserve this shit?
I think he knows exactly what he did to deserve this
Yeah,
shit.
whatever.
So we are now moving the Patriots, and you've got Patriots there as number 1 as well.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 is tough because for me, I mean, I think logically we would want to say Denver because Denver has a 10-2 record, but Denver just also seems shaky to me. My problem is
I think it's so hard. I think a lot. That's why with the AFC, I think it's like even though Denver's shaky, I think for me they're still number 2 because like the Colts could lose the division.
I don't know who I'm going to put above them. That's if I make them 3, I don't know who I put above them. Like what other team could you possibly, from a power ranking perspective, put above them? So I think it still has to be Denver.
Yeah, I got Denver at 2. And then my 3 is actually Buffalo. I have Buffalo as the third best team.
I agree with you there.
Yeah, because I think Buffalo, even though their record is not the sexiest, I think that they're the third best team in the AFC, like in terms of matchups. Then the 4th best team, I would
say the Chargers. Actually, no, maybe the Ravens.
No, the Ravens have a lot of like weird losses to me and stuff. And like I have the Ravens at 5 personally. I have the Colts still at 4 for me. Or no, I moved them up 1 to 4. Like I have them at 4 because like I still think the Colts, I think they're still a good team. They're just kind of in a weird lull, but I think they're a team you don't want to face in the playoffs and stuff. So I got them.
I'm gonna flip it. I'm gonna put Ravens at 4 and Colts at 5. And my argument for the Ravens at 4 is when we were ranking them in week 7, going into week 7, they were 1 and 5, and now they've ripped off 6 straight wins.
Yeah, that's true.
Momentum's on their side. I got a Colts team that has DJ with a messed up fibula, and potentially, like now they're losing control of the division to the Jags. They're losing games to the Texans. Like that, you have to be dominant in your division. And the Ravens, like they're ripping off wins now, and it just seems as though that's where that momentum is going. For 6, originally both of us last time had the Patriots. I think this is where the Jags would probably slot in, right? Like it just them or the Chiefs.
You know what's funny is for me for 6, just based off how they've been playing, I got the Texans at 6. I think the Texans are like right now, like they're the team you don't want to face. You don't want to play against the Houston Texans. That defense is humming, like they're just coming after people. Like if Stroud kind of gets back to just being somewhat capable, it's like, damn, that's a scary team.
And that's why I wouldn't have them at 6, because I need to see Stroud do it multiple times. I'm seeing Trevor win games with Brian Thomas Jr. not playing well. He had to just work in a receiver that he got in at the trade deadline in week 9. He's working Jacoby Myers in. They're getting Brenton Strange back, and they're on offense. They're clicking. I think that's where my flip would be if we were ever talking about this a week from now and the Texans had won their game, I would have it flipped where I'd have the Texans at 6. All right, so then if I have the Texans at 7, who is your 7?
I actually have the Chargers at 7. I think we're better than the Jaguars, even though the Jaguars beat us. Keep in mind, Chargers were kind of coming into that game a little bit more banged up, and I feel a fully healthy Charger squad can beat this Jaguar squad, and then the Jaguars would be my 8th team. Like I would put the Jaguars at 8.
Okay, so you're having the Jags at 8. I take the Chargers and make them my 8 because, to your point, like the Chargers, it's just like you got to figure out this offensive line. If you can figure out this makeshift offensive line, Herbert's a good enough quarterback. The wide receivers are there. The running game is showing shifts, and if you get Hampton back, you can make a run. Like you could be a wild card team that ends up winning at least through your divisional round and getting potentially to that championship game. Like you can see that. You can see a path for that. 9, for me.
I got for the Chiefs.
That feels about right.
Because they're better than the Steelers. I think they're better than the Bengals. And they're better than the Dolphins.
I think 10 is where the Steelers go now.
Yeah, the Steelers go at 10. And then you can keep the Bengals the same for me at 11 and the Dolphins the same for me at 12. The only thing that will change is you can put the Titans at 15 and the Jets at 14.
Wait. You can put the Titans at
16 and the Jets at 15. That's it.
Oh, you're saying swap them.
Yeah, you can swap them. I think I have more hope with the Raiders than I do the Browns at some point.
Yeah. So I think I'm doing this for my 13 through 16. I got the Browns above the Raiders. Do you have the Raiders above the Browns?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're.
I can see the rate. I mean, they beat the Patriots. They're obviously better.
All right. Let's see. So you said 11 and 12 Bengals Dolphins.
Yeah. I'll keep that.
I don't think I can really disagree with that. The Dolphins, like, they're there, but like they're not really there, and we're seeing the Bengals this resurgence now. Again, if this is another situation where like I would be comfortable even swapping Bengals and Steelers if Joe Burrow plays well this week. Like that's another, Okay, so you and I are pretty much we are a lot in lockstep. Really, where we disagree is here in that 4 through 7, 4 through 8 spot.
Yeah.
Colts, Jags, Texans, and Chargers are, but that makes sense because those are all the wild card teams.
Yeah, exactly. We don't know. Like the Bills are the only wild card team that we have higher than division winners right now. But I think we just look at the fact that they have one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL in Josh Allen, and we know when this team wakes the fuck up, it's like, fuck, we have to play these guys.
But that's the other thing. And what makes sense about it is like the Ravens are a division leader right now, but they're 6-6, and the Jaguars are a division leader, but 1, they have the same record as the Bills, and 2, they're very shaky. Like if we're saying the Bills are shaky as a wild card team, the Jaguars are shaky as a division leader. We have the Colts. Both of us have the Colts above the current division leader.
Yeah, because they've just shown a little bit more consistency. And yes, these last 2 weeks have been kind of rough for the Colts, but like you mentioned, that if that pass interference and that delay of game gets called and stuff, maybe it's a different. We're seeing a different tune and stuff about the Indianapolis Colts.
Let me ask you this question: If both of those things had gone correctly, well, one of them wouldn't have needed to if the delay of game had gone properly. Would that affect where you have the Texans?
Yeah, it would. I'd probably have the Jaguars. I would have the Chargers and the Jaguars over the Texans. Like the Texans would be at 8.
All right. Well, let's take a look at where we had the NFC in Week 7.
Man, that's fucked up, guys. I'm just saying, how the fuck you guys not have us at number 1?
Well, listen, get a running back. So we've got.
Man, you don't think I'm trying?
We had the Eagles, then the Bucks. We were in lockstep right there for our changes. We still had the Eagles as number 1. You were moving the Bucks up by 1 spot. I had stuck with.
Look at where we had the Bears. Jesus.
Yeah. Which is funny because we moved them down 4 spots. We both moved them down 4 spots. We originally had them
down. I know
both of them at 9. Like, look, we had them both at 9.
And I know that's what I'm saying. Jesus, we did not know what Ben Johnson was cooking.
Did you saw? I mean, I know your family is are Bears fans, but you saw that thing where he like rips off the shirt in the locker room.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Chase was on the Rams though. You didn't believe in the Rams like I did.
That's true. That's true. Well, so my thing was back in here. with
No,
the
it's okay,
Rams-
John. You just don't believe. Chase is a real McVay truther. He reads the book of
No,
McVay
it had
every
nothing
day.
to do- nothing to
Every
do with
day he
that.
wakes up and he prays
question-
to me.
I-
Yeah,
here's
shut
the-
up.
Here's the thing, Sean. Here's the thing, Sean. I didn't know if it was going to be Stafford or the guy that you were claiming you were comfortable starting the season with and playing the whole season with, Jimmy Garoppolo. So that's why I had the Rams
No,
lower.
man.
The whole thing was that entire team
Chase
doesn't
Chase always believes in John McVay. He's a book of McVay believer. He reads the book every day.
Yeah, I mean he has to
You're
because
just a hater.
there's only one real team that plays in SoFi Stadium that calls SoFi Stadium home. So that's why
Yeah, you
Chase
hear that? Chase? Only one real team.
from
It's our
the book
team.
of McVay.
Whose house? Rams' house.
So all right, let's take a look. So here we've got this is our setup from week 7, and then over here we've got this handy dandy sheet that tells us exactly what has happened. And similarly, we have in gray the division leaders, and you have a list of which teams these teams have won and lost to. God, I feel terrible for the Giants and the Commanders. But anyway, let's get over to look how this is the 3 dragon meme, but it's actually 4 because these are the 3 good dragons. And then what are the Cardinals doing? I don't get it. I get the idea that if the Cardinals were better, the Rams, the Niners, and the Seahawks wouldn't have all the wins because they've played the Cardinals. But still, you know what I mean? It's a mirror image. It's 3-9 when it should be 9-3 like the rest.
Dude, you know, I'm in Spyro the Dragon. Spyro is the only tiny dragon. That's the fucking Cardinals. Right. They're just Spyro the Dragon, except they can't do anything right. They can't breathe fire. They can't charge people. They're just a tiny stupid dragon that just exists in the dragon world.
So I am going to rectify my previous.
Yeah, you're right. Put me number 1, baby. That's right.
I think you're doing that too.
Oh yeah, Rams are 1.
And then
my number 2, Seahawks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is tough if you're Davion to watch your team be this good and then you don't really have control of the division like that. That sucks.
Yeah.
Oof. Now
my number
question: will we put Philly at 3?
No, I have to do this. Number 3 is
Lions. Still?
No. Number 3 is going to be the Green Bay Packers.
Wow. Okay. All right. I would love to hear this explanation.
I think if LaFleur,
considering you just picked the Bears to beat them.
No, I did, but I'm saying power rankings are based on the team and the health of the team and the team, what they have available. The Packers, what they have available, they're a better team than the Bears. The Bears are my number 4, but the Packers, healthy and what they have available, they're the 3rd best team in the NFC.
Okay.
And then you can put the Eagles at 5 for me.
Eagles at 5. How the mighty have fallen. Okay. So I'm gonna put. Oof.
Yeah, fuck you, KFC. Get down to the bottom bit.
I just swapped them between these two because the Bears. I mean, now this is one of those situations where the Bears lose this weekend, flips. But yeah, that is really surprising. That. I mean, I could probably see an argument for the Eagles not even being 5th anymore.
Yeah, there was a part of me that wanted to put the Lions 5th, but I can't. They have too many weird losses and stuff, so I have the Lions 6.
Yeah, the Eagles are at least consistent. When they lose, they're consistent. They win, they're consistent.
Yeah, the Lions have a lot of outlier, oh, what? You lost? How?
Yeah. Let me get the Lions at 6, and then I'll put the. Actually, no, I'll put the 9. Ooh.
The Niners, I still have the Niners at 7.
I think I'd do this: Detroit, Dallas, Niners. So you're saying 7. You're putting Detroit at 6.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. Detroit at 6. Niners at 7. Cowboys at 8.
Cowboys at 8. Okay, so we're just slightly off with these two. All right, so 9.
And then 9, we have to put the Tampa Bay Buccaneers there.
Oh man, God.
No, the Panthers are 10. The Panthers are 10. They're at 10.
Right. So, wait, you're saying that you're putting the Panthers at 10 and the Bucks at 11?
No, Panthers at 9.
Oh,
Bucks
Panthers,
at Buccaneers at 9. Panthers at 10.
10. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I also don't have Dallas. I had Dallas twice. Yeah. Okay, I can see this.
Yeah.
I'm agreeing.
Like if the Panthers can beat the Bucks, then
yeah. Wow. Panthers on the come up, man. Ted McMillan.
Nah.
What a guy can do for the squad. All right.
Yeah.
So now we have this trash.
Showing faith in the NFL again. Finally, big wide receivers matter. No more of these little midgets that can run 4'2", 4'40".
So first, let's I think get this one out of the way. I think we both have agreement there. Okay, so that knocks that.
And then we can put the Saints at 15 for me too. We can just have the Saints there.
Okay, all right. I think
actually no, fuck it. Put the Falcons at 15. The Saints are more fun to watch. The Falcons suck. I hate watching them.
So you got Saints at 14 then?
Yeah, Saints at 14. Okay. Then you can put the Giants at 13.
Wait, hold on. No, don't forget we got the Vikings still to put up here. So
yeah, I still have faith in KOC to be ranked 12.
12, okay.
Yeah.
So then, who do you?
Commanders at 11. I like Dan Quinn. If Jaden Daniels plays, they're a much better team.
All right. Okay. So now I'm putting Cardinals at 16, the Saints at 15. I will put.
Ain't no way you enjoy turning on the Atlanta Falcons. Put them at fucking 15. Give Kellen Moore some credit. He has made Chuck fun to watch. The Giants are only up on 13 because they're fun to watch. Like at least I know they're in games. The Giants. It's not like the Giants are getting blown out.
Right. I think
like John, you are not sitting there being like, if Guy gave you a choice to watch the Falcons play or the Saints play, you're not like, oh, I'm going to choose Kirk Cousins and the Falcons over.
Yes, I would.
No, you would not choose. The Saints are more fun.
The Falcons. I'm not watching the Falcons for Kirk Cousins. I'm watching the Falcons for Bijan Robinson.
If he sees the field, they just throw Algier out there.
Hey, that's the name of the game. That's how this works. Sometimes you got to take a breather, man. Sometimes you got to breathe.
Yeah, man. I want to breathe too, but I can't. Got me on the field all the time.
You know what? Can you imagine? Because I can imagine this world where Algier, because he's in the last year of his contract, doesn't want to take the Falcons offer, and the Kansas City Chiefs. Don't forget, anybody watching this, because I know you have not. Tyler Algier was a 1,000+ yard rusher before Bijan Robinson got there.
Yeah, he's good. He's a good player.
Imagine that on the Chiefs.
Yeah, that would suck.
I would love for Tyler Algier to come to Denver. That would be great.
You know, there's a horrible world where the Rams and the Chargers somehow, if they both make the championship and they both have home games, how would that work?
Wait, say that again.
If the Rams and the Chargers both, because the Chargers could have. There's a world where the Chargers, like, let's say if they win the West and then matchups go their way. No, I'm just saying where the Rams and the Chargers both will be home games for the championship games. How would that work? Because they have hard start times.
But yeah, they have hard start times, but one's in the morning and one's in the afternoon, or one's in the evening.
Yeah, but they would have to change the fields, the paint.
They could do that. I mean, they just require.
No, because they do AFC and NFC. They have the.
So what
they have the logo.
Well, the logos would be difficult, but the end zones, I think you would just put.
Do you think they'll just have an NFL playoff? They'll have an NFL playoff thing in the thing, and by home of the AFC and NFC championship.
I like Allen.
No, they can't. They can't. It's already set for Sunday. They can't change it.
Oof. Well,
do you think the Chargers get kicked out?
Easy solution. Chargers
Get
don't,
kicked out of
Chargers don't have that home game.
The Chargers get kicked out of
Wait, hold
SoFi.
on.
They're like, go play at the Coliseum, you bums.
Chase, you're trying to talk about a world where Justin Herbert doesn't throw 3 to 4 interceptions and a fumble in a playoff game.
It's not happening this year. What are we talking about?
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, he's going to win, and then Joe Alt is going to be like, I'm ready for the Super Bowl, and then when Joe Alt has 5 carries for 150 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns in the Super Bowl, you're going to message me on Facebook and you're going to say, "You're right, Chase, best player
That was
on the Chargers."
Ladies and gentlemen, the past 10 to 15 seconds of this show was one of the best advertisements for the strength of California weed that I think we could possibly ever have.
Well, how come we need to have this debate about Joe Alt being the best Charger? I think he is. He's the greatest Charger right now.
It's got to be Madison Beer.
No,
there's no other option.
So who's going to the NFL Hall of Fame if they win a Super Bowl? Madison Beer or Joe Alt?
Madison Beer. A pop star winning a Super Bowl? Like, come on. She's the reason for all the success.
They did I know you.
Joe Alt's barely played this year. How many games has he been in?
But every game he's played, the Chargers have been better.
That's not what I asked you. I asked you how many games has he played in.
It doesn't matter how many games he played. When he plays, it's better.
He's been there every week.
Did you
in the strike trading rooms, in the film rooms? She's there.
Do you know what she does during the home game? So apparently, I guess, like when she gets bored, she just kind of walks around the stadium and she just says hi to other fans that are wearing Herbert jerseys and stuff. So like they caught her. CBS caught her on camera, just like she was like in the aisle. She was like kind of bending down and like squatting down, talking to like a fan in the seat and stuff. Yeah. But they didn't. It was like a weird cut. Like they were just showing her talking to a fan, but they didn't even say like, "Oh, and there's Justin Herbert's girlfriend, pop star Madison Beer." They're like, they just go like, "Look at this, a nice woman talking to a young fan during this game," and I'm like. That's Madison Beer, guys. Like, what, like, how come you guys can't just say that's Madison Beer talking to it? But yeah, I guess like when she's bored during the games or if like it's a blowout, she goes around. She leaves like the nice area that she's in, and she just goes around. And if you're wearing a Herbert jersey, sometimes she'll just come up and talk to you. Like she just will talk to you about Justin Herbert. What a baller, dude. Taylor Swift would never.
Oh my God, yeah, no, she would never. That is true. I will give you that.
Yeah, Madison Beer, true ball knower. Do you think Madison Beer knows like reception? Like, do you think Madison Beer can call cover 2?
No.
What do you mean? I think she can.
I think it's a little too early for her.
I'm gonna reach out to Madison Beer's team.
Like in the off season, I think she'd be able to do that.
You know what I'm going to try to do during the offseason? I'm going to reach out to Madison Beer's team and see if we can get an interview and say that we're trying to promote her new album that's coming out. But really, we just want to talk about...
If you can get Madison Beer on this show before you were able to get Alex on this show, that would be incredible. Also, Alan has a solution. The Chargers are about to play in San Diego for one day.
Yeah. The city of San Diego would probably kill them before that would happen.
The old Snapdragon Stadium. Because I was looking it up, I was like, is Qualcomm even still there? No.
It got them all.
Stadium.
Snapdragon's fucking nice too.
Is it?
Yeah, it's the San Diego. It's San Diego State Stadium. It's so nice.
And San Diego FC for MLS and Wave for the women's soccer league. Look at that.
Yeah, no, the San Diego Stadium is fucking sick. It's a very nice stadium, Snapdragon. Don't know what Snapdragon is, but shout out. Cool name too, Snapdragon Stadium.
It's one of those tech companies like.
Oh, like do they create stuff? It sounds like something for a cell phone, like the Snapdragon software.
It's the. Hold on, tell me who has the naming rights. Come on. Well, if I just
man, soon Arrowhead's going to be called Patrick Mahomes Field.
And what was it, Gayha Field at Arrowhead? Like, just fucking ridiculous. Oh, okay. So the stadium became known as Snapdragon Stadium, named after Qualcomm's Snapdragon brand of chips, of computer chips. There it is.
Yeah.
Computer chips.
Yeah, that sounds like something that's like on a phone, like new Snapdragon technology.
Yeah. But there you go, ladies and gentlemen. We have our power rankings for week through week, or in week 14.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna reach out to Madison Beer. I'll see if she'll do it.
I mean, listen, if you can get her on here, that'd be hilarious.
Could you imagine if we get Madison Beer on for 1 week of True Picks? Like, she just gives us her picks. Like, she's just listening to us talk about football, and she just kind of like just chilling there, and then she's like, "Yeah, I like the colors of the Browns," and then she just chooses the Browns.
The thing is, I've watched like a couple interviews of her, and like she seems like a pretty normal, like level-headed person. Like, she doesn't come across as though like she's a generic.
Oh no, yeah, she seems cool.
Star, like kind of like that vapidness. Like, she seems as though she's not. Like, she seems as though she's intelligent. I mean, as a music guy, as a guy who's worked on music.
What if you can get one of your songs on a Madison Beer track?
I mean, that would be cool, but it wouldn't make me a Chargers fan. But I would like to ask her like the production side of things, like working.
Oh yeah,
because she's worked with a couple fun names. But that would be
yeah.
I actually would be able to promote the album, is what I'm trying to say.
Like, it comes out in January. Maybe I'll hit them up sometime this month, and then because I know some people, and I think they do stuff with Madison Beer, so I'm gonna I'll send some emails. I want to try to make this happen. I think that'd be hilarious.
Again, I think it'd be hilarious if somehow you got Madison Beer before we were able to get Alex on the show.
Right? I could easily text Alex like, "Hey, can you do a homie favor? Come on to the show." But here I am. I want to go ambitious to try to get Madison fucking Beer on this show.
No, you know how that would work. We would have to get Alex first, because Alex will generate a lot of views and a lot of clicks, and then you're able to turn to Madison's team and go, "Hey, this is a show that gets X number of,
No, dude, because then once we get Madison Beer, we can go for the Great White Buffalo. We can go for Taylor Swift or one of the Kelseys.
Oh, there's no way that's happening. There's no way.
Well, we can't get Jason Kelce?
No, I don't think we can get Jason Kelce.
I think we can.
Is that's the goal? The goal is to get somebody from.
No. The end goal is, and I know SP3 will hate saying this is the end goal, but come on, McAfee. We can get McAfee on here or interview.
Even though he's told the story like 8 million times, I would just ask him to retell the story where he's at the craps table with Peyton Manning.
Yeah, like, can you imagine getting McAfee and he's like, "Listen, I like what you boys are doing. I like that you guys had the courage to come on. You guys call yourself True Hill." Like,
actually,
that'd be great.
There is that wrestling and sports.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, Madison Beer will be the avenue for us getting bigger stars. And it's entertainment too. This is like, maybe there's a person Madison Beer knows that Sid could interview and stuff from the TV side of things and stuff.
Imagine there's a world where one day you and I are like interviewing Bo Nix or Justin Herbert.
Right? And then it's all because of what Madison Beer gets us a Herbert interview.
You know, the first question I would ask Bo Nix.
What
was it like when you beat Alabama in the Iron Bowl as a freshman?
Oh.
Just to piss you off. I could ask him anything about Denver, but the first thing I would ask him.
You know what's funny? I probably could ask, like, I probably could get a Broncos player before I would ask Alex for an interview. I'd get one of his teammates and get them before I ever get Alex for an interview.
All I'm hearing is that you're going to be able to pull off a True Picks closed on Sundays crossover.
That'd be the greatest. That'd be great. No, I will reach out. I want to see if Madison Beer would be interested. And we would only do 30 minutes. We would say, hey, 30 minutes. We just want to talk. We just want to talk a little football with Madison Beer, but also talk about her new album. My friend produces music. I just kind of want to know I just kind of want to ask, like, what's it like at the home game?
Here's the real question. You know how, like, right before the interview, like, we're having her come in just to be like, mic checks, all that kind of shit and all that kind of stuff. And then imagine, Chase, you're looking at the screen and all of a sudden Joe Alt shows up and it goes, "Y'all better treat her right."
I would be like, "Yes, sir, Mr. Alt. Won't do anything wrong to her." No, I would just ask what's it like being at the home games, and when she performs, like, how she, like, is it like, what's it like performing at a stadium compared to an arena, like acoustics and stuff? Because I always hear when artists perform in LA, they want to play at the Forum Intuit or like a smaller, like the YouTube theater at SoFi, they would rather play there than actual SoFi Stadium because the acoustics are much better. Yeah, SoFi Stadium, you're gonna get more
Yeah.
people, but
That's
like inside those like smaller arenas, you kind of hear you get a better concert.
Right.
So that's what I would ask her.
Yeah, because in a normal situation, if you're playing like an open air stadium, it really sucks because like so much of that sound is just escaping upwards. You would think that SoFi as a domed building would allow the ability for the acoustics to be a bit better. But then, to your point, if you have a smaller venue, a more intimate venue, you're able to not just connect directly with the audience better from an eyesight perspective, but the sound of the building will be better. Alan does have a question. He's saying, I know the Michigan-Ohio State game was last Saturday, but what are y'all thoughts about headbutting the ref and not getting kicked out of the game for it? I do want to say this. I think the guy that headbutted Bo Nix and then that was not called, I was like, wait a minute. That was ridiculous. But as it pertains to the Michigan-Ohio State game, I don't. So it was a number of things that I thought was dumb about that call because one, I think the guy should have been ejected, but two, he's headbutting him, and because of what the penalty actually was, they only gained like 10 yards because of it, because it was like a half the distance to the goal kind of thing. I was like, wait a minute, like how is this? How like, if you're talking about player safety and things like that, that's where I think what it should be is if it's beyond a certain yardage point, then yes, half the distance to the goal. But once it's at a position where like the gain of yardage for committing the penalty would be excellent, like a very small amount of yards, then it's either a warning for an ejection or a straight out ejection. And that I think is a little bit like it just because like what otherwise you're just encouraging people to not give a shit about headbutting people as you get the thing. And then you're like, well, I just took out the quarterback. Now it's QB2 has to come in because I gave that guy a concussion and I only lost 8 yards because of it. Why wouldn't I take the headbutt? Why wouldn't I try to do something like that?
Yeah, they got to fine tune that because that wasn't that was kind of disgusting play in my opinion.
Yeah, but shout out to Ohio State for finally breaking the 4-game.
Finally.
The number of times we saw people at WWE shows of all places with posters of saying like it's been so many days since Ohio State beat Michigan. Yeah, I was like, I mean, it seems like a weird place to bring that sign, but all right, cool. But now they can't do that anymore.
The hatred runs deep. Got to remind them.
They're like, I could make a poster about Reigns, Punk, Jacob Fatu, Solo Sikoa being an asshole, Drew McIntyre being a terrible human being, whatever. But they're like, no, I would much rather spend this poster board time to make something that shit talks Ohio State. I mean, I appreciate it from that to your point about the hate running deep.
or like you see like sometimes the random Nas retell, like some fans will just bring the Nas retell. And so I need one so I can just bring it to every random sporting event. Everyone's like, why do you have a Nas Reed style? It's like, why don't you Nas Reed? My friends don't understand sometimes when I'll respond to them, yeah, man, Nas Reed. And they're like, because some of them don't know he's just like a random ass bad, but he's changed my life. I love Nas Reed.
Who do you
the Timberwolves? I'm getting a Nas Reed tattoo right here. It's just gonna say Nas Reed.
There you go. While I got you here, who do you got for Ohio State, Indiana, and then Duke, Virginia?
Ooh, Duke, Virginia. I'll go first. That's going to be a very tough game. I really like this Duke squad, so I got Duke. I think Duke's going to sneak into the college football playoff. I think they've just been playing on a much better click as of late. While Virginia, they've had some stumbles. But Ohio State, Indiana, like. I love Indiana's story. They've been so great. It's been fun to see like a program that's, let's be real, it's a basketball school. Like Indiana's not a football school. But what that coach has done, changed the identity and in such a short time span, like really, really smart recruiting and transfer portal attacking, finding great diamonds in the rough that were at these smaller schools and bringing them to this Indiana program and making them like into what could be, hopefully a good, successful college program for many years to come. No matter what happens at the end of the season, he should be definitely proud of what he's produced. Like you're never going to replicate what you've done. And what I think it's tremendous. College football, I think, is really hard, especially when you're not like a school like Ohio State, like a blue blood, I guess you would say, like a school with like that much rich tradition, rich history to do that. So No,
think it's
Alan, they get in automatically because they're P4. P4 schools get an automatic bid into the college football playoff.
Also Duke would.
Yeah,
I
if
think
you're
it's
people,
right.
people, they won't get a bye. They'll get a home game, but they won't get a bye. So
Gotcha.
P4. So the way it works is all P4 schools, winner of the conference title, makes the college football playoff. The best of the G5 group of 5 schools, the best of that conference champion makes the college football playoff. So right now it's Tulane, I believe, in the American. They can make it and stuff. So that's what I'm saying, Alan. Duke wins, they're in the playoffs. It doesn't matter. They make the playoffs.
What else is interesting about that game is that Fernando Mendoza right now is plus 155 for the Heisman, and Sayan is plus 200 for the Heisman. And
Yeah, so
is Pavia. Pavia is in between them at plus 185.
Mexican Baker, baby.
These are the two like two of the favorites for the Heisman, because the next person after Julian Sayin, remember Julian Sayin's plus 200, is Jeremiah Love at plus 5,500. So like there's a huge gap between Sayin and Jeremiah Love. It's between Mendoza, Pavia, and Sayin. So to have two of them going head to head for that championship, I think 12 championship, that's pretty freaking interesting.
And Sayin's been playing well. But my prediction is Ohio State. They just have way too much talent. That defense under Matt Patricia has just been really, really good this season. I think Indiana's scrappy. They won't give up, but I always tell people in college football, sometimes the teams with the most talent always win. And I won't be surprised if Ohio State is just a thrashing throughout most of the game. And then we're hearing the commentators are talking about, well, Indiana can't keep their heads down for long because they will be headed to the college football playoff where they might see this Ohio State team again. That's what we're going to. But I think Ohio State wins. I think Ohio State is the best team right now in college football. I don't think a lot of teams can beat this squad. They just do. They just attack the transfer portal so well.
Options in offense, I think, and that defense has become really smothering. Like they're playing really great defense. What I wanted to ask you though also was this money line seems weird. They've got Georgia, Bama plus 110, Georgia negative 150. That seems weird to me. If Georgia's never beaten Bama in Atlanta, and then also the spread is negative 2.5 for Georgia.
Yeah, no, I think they just look at it like. They know that if they put Alabama as this is the thing. If you give Alabama the favor and the points and stuff, they think Georgia can cover that. Like that. This is more of like Vegas is trying to like get people away from bet because Alabama, although yes, rich in tradition, this is not a Nick Saban Alabama team. This is a Kalen DeBoer Alabama team. Georgia people dumb bet. So this is like to. These are for the dumb people, the people that don't watch college football. They just know the names that are good. They go like, oh, Georgia, good. Georgia will win. They don't want Georgia to be an underdog or have it where they're the plus in the points because Georgia's going to cover that 2.5.
Yeah.
If whether they win or lose, they're covering that 2.5. That's a lot of money Vegas will lose. And if Georgia's an underdog, they're going to become a favorite because people are going to be like, oh, me dumb fan. I don't know shit college, but I know Georgia plus. I take advantage of Georgia at plus. And then they go ahead and they bet money on Georgia. And then if Georgia wins, then they have to play out those plus ones. While with Alabama, yes, Alabama is Alabama, but they don't have like in this current gambling state, they don't have like the Georgia rub. They don't have like the, Georgia. Like people know Alabama is like, yeah, Alabama's been good, but they don't have Nick Saban. So like, and they're not as good as they used to be. So Georgia, the whole reason why Georgia's favored and why they're the points favored is to avoid losing money if Georgia like does win this game, because then at least Vegas goes, so what, you got Georgia at minus 155, minus 2.5. Much better you won that bet than if they're plus 2.5, plus 2.5, or plus 200. But if Georgia becomes underdogs live or becomes underdogs like because there's a bunch of sharks that jump on Bama, it's not as bad for Vegas. They just they look at that, it's like, cool, we break even. So yeah, that's why they did that. But That's why they did that spread that way and stuff. But Georgia could win. Alabama's had 2 shaky losses, and even though Alabama did beat Georgia early this year, maybe Georgia has picked up on some of Bama's tricks. So maybe what Bama does really well, they can't take advantage of. But
we've got right now favored to go number 1 in the draft. They've got, which again is funny because it's the Titans, so they're assuming the Titans are trading out. I think. Fernando Mendoza plus 170, Ty Simpson plus 210, and then Ruben Bain Jr. plus 380. Those are the 3 favorites. Dante Moore's like plus 500, but so I guess he's in the mix because Arvell Reese is plus 17. So it's one of those.
I think we have to wait. If you want the money, if you want to try your best and over predict it, I would say go with Mendoza. Just put some money on Mendoza right now. Because I think I don't think he's going to go to the combine. But if Simpson and Dante Moore go to the combine, and especially Dante Moore, if he does well in the throwing drills, because I think he's the better thrower out of the 3 quarterbacks, he might sneak into number 1. So Dante Moore is kind of like a nice little bet right now, plus 500. Where you're like, ooh, I could kind of make some good change off of them sleeping on Dante Moore. He wouldn't be a bad bet right now, but Mendoza, I do think will go number 1. Simpson, I don't know. Like, does he want to come back to Bama for 1 more year? Like, there's a lot of questions with Simpson. Like, I would like to say, yeah, you could put him at number 1, but he also could go back for 1 more year if he wants to. So,
But already, guys, that's been our Week 14 True Picks number 29. We want to thank you all for tuning in. We got a lot covered. We got all of Week 14. We redid our power rankings. We gave a little bit of college football for the previews for these championship games. As the football playoffs, I think could get a little bit further. I think we'll go a little bit deeper into some of the football, college football talk, and then so we're already looking at draft information and all that kind of fun stuff, because football, it never sleeps. It's always something to talk about. There's always something to do. So until next time, guys, remember, take care of yourselves and each other, and we will catch you all later.
Yeah, man, make sure